Kentucky Wildcats gunning for their 6th win of the year. For the Kentucky Wildcats, the season started with 4 big wins. Arch rival Louisville in the Governor's Cup. A 77-17 victory that featured almost every play and every player in the book. Indiana in a close one under the lights. And a Middle Tennessee team that some may have taken lightly. Kentucky's fighting its way through the SEC. 2 weeks ago, a come-from-behind win on the road at Arkansas. Now, the Cats hope to rebound from a loss to Georgia as they take on another team of dogs, the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Kentucky hasn't won in Starkville since 1993. Can the Cats claw out a win on the road?
From Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi, it's University of Kentucky Wildcat football. Today, it's the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Today's game is brought to you by Ashland, the who in how things work. By Alltel, now offering solutions right here in Kentucky. By Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, decide to be healthy. By LG&E, customers first, energy that lasts. By your local Chevy dealer. By Speedway. And by Southern Belle Dairy. Around here, it's a tradition.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rob Bromley, and welcome to Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi, where once again the Kentucky Wildcats are hoping to come back on the road, much like they did a couple of weeks ago at Arkansas. Last weekend at Commonwealth Stadium, it was another group of dogs, the Georgia Bulldogs, and it certainly got off to a good start. R2 Spinner busting loose 33 yards as Kentucky took the early lead. And then it was Jared Lorenzen throwing here to Derek Abney. Kentucky on top by a count of 24-21 at halftime. But then in the second half, Georgia dominating offensively and defensively as the Dogs go on to win it. 52-24, 31 unanswered points. A frustrated Guy Morris. I welcome to the booth Bill Ransdell, the former Wildcat quarterback. And Bill, as far as the Cats are concerned on offense, it is Jared Lorenzen at quarterback and R2 Spinner, who today can go for 1,000 yards.
And R2 Spinner, what else can you say? A.K.A. Mr. Consistent. Last week he rushed for 111 yards on 19 carries. He leads the SEC in rushing. Today, as you said, 108 yards away for going for 1,000 yards this year. And today, Kentucky's offense is definitely going to need all 108 plus some if they want to be in a position to win this game.
Well, as far as Jared Lorenzen is concerned, you talk about consistency. He could probably use some consistency. He's been brilliant at times.
He's been brilliant. He's been a little inconsistent at best, but in Jared's defense, he is leading the SEC in passing efficiency. He has 19 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and the key for Jared today, I think, is finishing the fourth quarter the way he begins the first quarter.
Well, Bill, when you think about Mississippi State and Jackie Sherrill coach teams, you think about the run, but hey, they can also throw it. And Kevin Fant will be back at quarterback today.
And Fant's a good one. He's a junior. He's got experience. He's had an ankle and Achilles injury. He's back in today getting the start. You have on the other side York. He's the redshirt freshman. He got his first start because Fant was out to start the year on suspension. Look for them both at some point today, though, to try to test the secondary of Kentucky after seeing what Georgia was able to accomplish last week.
You talk about the other phase of the game, the kicking game. How about Derek Abney? He's run back 3 kicks for touchdowns so far. Can he get number 4 here today? We are just moments from kickoff here at Scott Field in Starkville. Let's check in down on the field with Drew Diener.
Thank you, Rob. You know, one of the reasons Kentucky has had such success this season has been their consistency. Going into last week against Georgia, the Cats had not missed a starter game because of injury. That changed when Mike Campay went out. Martez Johnson went in. The only other change occurred when Matt Huff was suspended for the first quarter of the game last week. Sylvester Miller got the start. That will stay for this week as well. Sylvester Miller getting his second start in a row this week. for the Wildcats as they take on Mississippi State. We're just moments away from kickoff. You're watching the UK Television Network.
Here in Kentucky, morning brings the promise of a new champion. Size, strength, speed, endurance, and dependability, traits developed through breeding, training, and experience, are also found in the champion of Kentucky's insurance industry. Families rely upon the solid financial strength and fast, dependable claim service of the Commonwealth's largest property and casualty insurer, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. All-around coverage, all around Kentucky.
I'm a Ford truck man, that's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries, I don't compromise. It's Ford Truck Month. That means huge savings on 2002 and 2003 Ford trucks and SUVs. Get financing as low as 0% or as much as $4,000 cash back. Ford Truck Month is here with as low as 0% financing or up to $4,000 cash. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer now. Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built Ford tough.
When your back hurts, you hurt all over. I wasn't comfortable when I was sitting. I wasn't comfortable when I was lying down.
When the pain won't go away, MedFirst is here to help.
The people at MedFirst were wonderful. They made me feel very comfortable, very at ease.
MedFirst treats back pain and pain from bulging, herniated, and degenerated discs.
After my back was fixed, I was back to my normal self. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Call MedFirst day or night for free information and exam.
I'm looking for a guy who tells great bedtime stories.
I like my men rough and rugged.
I love surprises. The bigger, the better.
Can you make my heart jump?
I have mysterious green eyes and a mischievous smile.
Are you an impulsive guy? I'm looking for a friend or possibly more. Interested? What are you waiting for? You know what to do.
I'm open-minded and ready to try new things. Are you?
Quest connects. Make that call now.
Maybe we can chat tonight.
Second half, Kentucky then decided to take the football. As you look at Jackie Sherrill down on the sidelines, now in his 12th season coaching here in Starkville, and there's Derek Abney. Number 45 set to kick off. Brent Smith, 5'10 junior, out of Byhalia, Mississippi. And he puts his foot into the ball, and we are underway. End over end kick, way back and through the end zone. So it will come back out of the 20-yard line, and that's where Jared Lorenzen and company will start. First down and 10 yards to go. Jared Lorenzen, the junior out of Fort Thomas, Kentucky, 6'4". They say 275 pounds, probably a whole lot more than that, as the Wildcats go to work on offense here. First and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Setting the I formation here to start out was Mike Canfay and R2 Spinner behind Lorenzen, and now we've got a delay here as the Wildcats come up to the line. The cowbells very popular here in Starkville for years and years and years, and there's now been a warning. A 5-yard penalty will be assessed.
Well, if you're a visiting team like Kentucky is today, it works to your favor. I've never quite understood that when you try to take the crowd out of it when they're here and very enthusiastic.
First play of the game, the pitch to Penner. Off the right side, and he finds running room. Driven out of bounds just across the 25-yard line. Give him 5 yards. Mario Hagan drove him out of bounds. Our Dodge starting lineups for the Wildcat offense. It is Lorenzen at quarterback with R2 Spinner behind him, the tight end Chase Hart, Abney, Cook, and Boone, the wideouts. And the offensive line with Nick Seitz over the ball, Miller and Rollins on his left, Chatelaine and Antonio Hall on his right. Second round, 5 yards to go for the Wildcats from their own 25-yard line. And you can hear the crowd reacting to the warning that was issued just a moment ago. Lorenzen to throw his first pass. A wide open Abney across the 40 over the 45-yard line to the 47, and that's a Wildcat first down. Kevin Dockery came in to bring him down for the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Good job there of Lorenzen.
And our Dodge starting lineups for the Mississippi State defense. This is how they'll line across the front with Clark, Fields, Kelly, and Jackson. They play the dog safeties. There are the linebackers. Mawhinney, Morgan, Golar, Banks, Dockery, and Williams. That's how Mississippi State sets up defensively our Dodge starting lineups. First and 10 for the Wildcats from the 47. Here's Abney on an end around. Got maybe a half yard, but not much more than that. Josh Morgan came in to collar him along with Jason Clark, the junior from right here in Starkville. Is Jason Clark, the defensive end. Going to give him a gain of about a yard. It'll be second down and 9 yards to go as we have not yet played a minute here in Starkville, Mississippi on the campus of Mississippi State. This time Lorenzen sends all three wideouts here to the near side. Cook, Holt, and Boone. Under pressure, he dumps it off here to Chase Harp in the backfield. Penalty marker goes down as Harp tries to battle his way back to the 45-yard line. Willie Evans makes the tackle. Let's see what the marker is.
Watch to your right of your screen. Kentucky's sitting here. Mississippi State's coming out in a zone. They had the corner blitz off the right side there by Josh Morgan, the outside linebacker, into the boundary. They walked back and played a little zone. Chase Harp was not able to pick him up because he delayed his blitz on the side there, and Chase got caught up inside when Morgan was able to get around the corner on him. When he did that, Harp just kind of reached back and tried to grab some cloth as opposed to letting Jared get his head taken off. Kentucky's going to have to do a better job, Rob, of seeing that blitz, especially when you're into that boundary. That's one of Joe Lee Dunn's patented trademarks. He wants to bring guys at all times. He'll bring them up the middle, but a lot of times he will bring them off that corner whenever he can.
Second down here, 9 yards to go. Pinner comes across the 50, but that's all as he is set up immediately, and another penalty marker goes down. Michael Golar comes up to make the stop.
Flag on the play.
And I think we got a face mask this time. Now, the penalty before, Bill, I thought was holding. Now they have called holding here.
Third down. Just a little isolation, just running a little power off tackle right here. And I guess they're seeing some holding right there at the point of attack.
Third down.
It's hard to pick it up right there. I couldn't really see it with the angle, but
from the 49 now of the Wildcats, it is third down and 9 yards to go. Lorenzen has got Abney into Mississippi State territory, trying to get the first down, and he does as he fights his way forward to the 40-yard line. And a good job by Derek Abney. He did not have the first and 10 when he caught the pass, but he went on to pick up the yardage. Josh Morgan knocked him down. It's a Wildcat first down at the Bulldog 40-yard line.
Good job there of Lorenzen finding Abney. Watch up top. You have man-to-man coverage. All he's going to do is a little 5-yard out. It's a basic route. Wanting to get the ball to Abney and let him make something happen. He was able to shake Banks, the first tackler. Then he knew where the stakes were and was able to get the first down.
On first and 10, here's Pinner up the middle. He gets a couple of yards. Not much more than that. Antonio Hall lost his headgear for a moment. Short gain. Willie Evans comes in to make the stop for Mississippi State. It'll be second down, about 8 yards to go.
I'm really interested at this point, Rob. It's interesting to watch that Mississippi State and Joe Lee Dunn's defense is known to really bring pressure. And at this point, they're sitting back in a lot more zone, which tells me that they've got a little respect for the big guy, number 22 right now.
Second down and a long 8. Lorenzen is under pressure. The pass incomplete. Intended over the middle for Chase Harper's tight end. And the heat was coming on Lorenzen as you look at number 40, Jason Clark.
Well, Clark and Morgan both that time came off the corner. Again, a little blitz off the corner. Mississippi State setting up in a zone. They're walking up and working themselves back into a man press, and they're bringing guys. They're bringing 8 guys every time unless Kentucky spreads the field, which is what they came out on in this formation.
Big third down play here early in the game. 3rd and 8. It's at the Bulldogs' 38-yard line. And Lorenzen caught by Broom down inside the 20-yard line. A first down for the Wildcats. Penalty marker's been dropped back at the 50. Darren Williams on the coverage for Mississippi State.
Take a look right here. Watch again. Mississippi State's found something they like. They've got the zone blitz coming. Again, there's Morgan coming inside out. Great job by Lorenzen of standing in the pocket and being able to deliver the ball, and then Boone going up and making a big catch.
Formation on the offense, only 6 men on the line. Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. Those penalties offset. Replay the deck.
And a tough break for the Cats, Bill. Would have had a first down inside the Bulldog 20-yard line. Now they're going to have to take the play over.
Well, and you know, as a coach, you're very frustrated in this time, Rob, because you know you only have so many opportunities throughout a game where you can make a big play. And when you have a blitz situation like that and you don't get it picked up, the percentages get less and less as far as your completions there. So definitely a frustrating thing for Coach Morris at this point in the UK offense.
Well, here we go again now on third down. Penner alongside Lorenzen as Garrett works out of the gun. Looking to the far side of the field. And throwing to the far side and long overthrown. Derek Abney, the intended receiver, down around the 3 or 4 yard line. Corey Banks, senior cornerback out of Boynton Beach, Florida, back there on the coverage. It will bring up fourth down for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Watch right in the middle of your screen here. We talked about Penner in the open and Mr. Consistent. He jumps right up inside there. Not only does he run the ball, he throws the ball, and he's able to sit here and do the blocking against Murray O'Hagan, who blitzed right up the middle. A blood stunt by Mississippi State. It's something Kentucky's going to see all day. Great job by Penner in being able to give Lorenzen some time.
And the line of scrimmage is the 38, and Guy Morris selecting to bring Glenn Pakalak on here to punt it. And he'll try to loft it up in the air and get it down inside the 10. And the Cats are down there, but they can't quite get it before it goes into the end zone. So we've got 11 minutes, 32 seconds left to go here in the first quarter at Stark Field in Starkville, Mississippi. And there's no score, Kentucky and Mississippi State.
More and more, Kentucky is turning to CHA Health because access is easier than ever. CHA Health offers one of the largest choices of participating doctors and hospitals in our state, backed by local people who are committed to giving you great service. CHA Health is working every day to support you and your community. If you haven't made the switch to CHA Health, remember,
change good.
CHA Health, your kind of people, your kind of care.
For more than 60 years, we've enjoyed being a part of people's lives. Now, we're a part of yours. Get caller ID, call waiting, and more in one convenient package. Sign up now and get a free caller ID phone. Alltel. Are you connected?
My patients are like family to me. If they came in with a serious back problem, I usually refer them to a surgeon. But not anymore.
A non-surgical breakthrough called VaxD takes the pressure off the discs and spinal nerves and lets the back mend itself.
In a recent study of more than 900 patients, VaxD was proven to be over 75% effective in treating these serious back problems.
Call 1-888-515-BACK.
Start living an active life again. Good game.
If past credit problems have made buying a car a sour experience for you, it's time to try the refreshing new way to finance a newer car. Simply call 1-800-AUTO-LOAN. It's fast and it's free. 1-800-AUTO-LOAN has helped thousands of good people just like you get the financing they need, a better car than they expected while reestablishing their credit. You know what they say, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Call 1-800-AUTO-LOAN or apply online at 1-800-AUTOLOAN.com and you could be driving today.
We welcome you back to the campus of Mississippi State here in Starkville. Rob Bromley along with Bill Ransdell, Drew Dieners down on the field. You're looking at Kevin Fance, the Bulldog quarterback who missed the Memphis game with an ankle injury, also an Achilles tendon injury that he suffered against Troy State. Against Troy State, he passed for 210 yards, including a touchdown, hit 22 of 32. Passed for 336 yards earlier this season against Jacksonville. So, Bill, through the air, he can get it done.
He can, and I expect that they will test Kentucky's secondary at some point. I mean, anybody that was able to see what Georgia did, you've got to go after a weakness, and that's one of them. Now, on the other side, though, when you look at Jackie Sherrill, he's known as a guy that wants to just pound it out, and he wants to play ball control. So look for Mississippi State today to be very balanced, I think. If they can run the ball and control the daggum game that way, they're going to do it first. But otherwise, you're going to give it to Fant and let him throw the ball and test the secondary.
Fant with over 1,000 yards through the air on the season, 4 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. Fant, a junior out of Moss Point, Mississippi. His fullback is Justin Griffith behind him. Fred Reed starting at the tailback spot as the Bulldogs now run their first play on offense. And this is Reed. Gets some running room, comes up to the 25-yard line, a gain of 5. And our Dodge starting lineup for Mississippi State. Fant at quarterback, Griffith and Reed, Brindle and Reed, the wideouts, and Bivens. And Jones over the ball at center. Hutchins and Weathers on the left side. Tucker and Stewart on the right side of the offensive line. Second down, 5 yards to go for the Bulldogs from their own 25. And they hand it off here on the end around to Justin Jenkins, who finds running room and breaks free across the 50. Lost the handle. And I think Kentucky recovered the football. It's Kentucky football down at about the Wildcat 40-yard line. Just as Justin Jenkins had taken off on a big gallop and had busted it down into Kentucky territory, he loses the handle, and the Cats come up with it.
Look at this. They just faked the isolation. They were able to bring Jenkins back around. He does a nice job of cutting it back. Look the way he's carrying the ball, though. He's carrying it out here on his outside like a loaf of bread. Great hustle by Morris Lane of coming down and not giving up. You can see again right there. He dives and is able to grab him by his legs. Jenkins loses his balance, and the ball just comes out, and Kentucky's where they need to be.
So the Cats get the first turnover, and here's Pinner. Pinner bowling his way over the 45-yard line and up close to the 49. T.J. Mawhinney, junior out of Covington, Louisiana, makes the stop, a former walk-on, who has now started 15 of 18 games for Mississippi State, but that was an 8-yard gallop for Artus Pinner, and the Wildcats now have it second down and short. 2nd and 2 as they mark it at the Kentucky 48. Pinner gets the first down as he goes down into Bulldog territory and busts it down inside the 50 down to the 48-yard line. Jason Clark comes up to make the tackle for Mississippi State.
And if you're Kentucky, you like what you're seeing right there with these first 2 plays. Kentucky's offensive line today is going to need to be able to take control of the defensive line of Mississippi State, also enabling Jarrett, as you can see, 2 for 4 already starting today, to be able to control that defensive front of Mississippi State. That's a big key for Kentucky.
From the Bulldog 48, 1st and 10, here's Lorenzen. And it's complete to Bernard at the 40-yard line. That is shy of a first down by a couple of yards. Mario Hagan, the linebacker, senior out of Clarksdale, Mississippi, right there on the stop.
Watch up front here. A little play-action pass. Play action is effective when you're able to run the ball on the isolation, as Kentucky's at least showing early at this point in the game, Rob. And you can see the offensive line there being able to get their hands out in front of them and control the defensive line of Mississippi State at this point.
2nd down, 2 yards to go from the 40, and Pinner fighting for it. He gets down to the 39-yard line, but he is stopped shy of the first down as Tommy Kelly comes up from his defensive tackle position, the junior out of Jackson, Mississippi, and it will be 3rd down and short for the Wildcats.
Watch here from the left part of your screen. Kelly is not going to be denying. He shucks Miller a little bit and is able to move laterally down the line of scrimmage and use his size, 6'6", 312 pounds, to grab Pinner, hog collar him, and put him down right in his tracks and keep him from getting the first down.
Here we are on 3rd down again, this time from the Bulldogs 39, and Pinner this time has got the 1st and 10. He cracks it down to the 37. That should be enough for the Wildcat first down. Ronald Fields in there on the stop, along with the linebacker Mario Hagan. Well, Kentucky took the ball to start the game, marched it down to the Bulldog 38-yard line, where they came up with fourth down, punted it. Mississippi State took over. Had a big run by Justin Jenkins, who ran it down inside the Wildcat 50, but he fumbled the ball. Now the Wildcats are on the move again in Mississippi State territory, as they have it at the Bulldog 37, first and 10, and Jared Lorenzen sees something that he doesn't like, and he backs off and decides to call a timeout here with 8 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Well, we'll break away here on this show.
For those who think young.
He earned it. So did she. They did too. The employees of LG&E Energy have earned the J.D. Power & Associates Award for highest customer satisfaction. In the nation, LG&E Energy ranked highest. With high customer satisfaction and the lowest rates, we're all winners. It's awarded once a year, but they earn it every day. KU, customers first, energy that lasts.
Dear Jamie, I'm writing on your birthday, but I think of you all the time. How can I tell you how I feel? I imagine how you would look today. I miss you more than I ever.
If you're struggling with the pain of an abortion, call 1-800-395-HELP.
I know I'll hold you one day and whisper.
The patients you see behind me all suffer from serious low back pain. Now, many were considering surgery, but within weeks, over 75% of them were pain-free, thanks to this revolutionary new treatment called VAX-D that you're seeing here. It's patented, FDA approved, and non-surgical. To learn more, watch our special report, Back Pain Breakthrough, at the time shown on your screen. You don't have to suffer anymore.
You're looking at Kentucky head coach Guy Morris down on the Wildcat sidelines, nearing the midway point of this first quarter, and there is no score. Artuse Pinner needed 108 yards coming in here today to hit the 1,000 mark on the season, Bill. So far, he has 20 of them here in the first quarter.
Well, he's doing what he needs to do for Kentucky's offense, too, they wanted to come into this game and run the ball and run it effectively. They want the big guys up front to get good and lathered up and control the offensive line of scrimmage of Kentucky, which, on the other side, you're controlling the defense on Mississippi State. They're doing that right now. They feel like they want to control the ball and the time of possession, and they also felt like that because Mississippi State and Joe Lee Dunn are known to really crowd the line of scrimmage and bring a lot of guys, that once they got through that first line of containment, you're into the secondary and you're to the safety. So look, at some point, if they're able to continue to be effective running the ball, Rob, that for them to break something a little bit later in this game.
Kentucky has a first down and 10 at the Bulldog 37. Tommy Kirk going in motion as Lorenzen here works out of the shotgun. Cook. And he was trying to get a block there from Chatelaine, but as it turned out, he did pretty well without the block. As he goes shooting through, Jason Clark finally brought him down. And how about that move by Tommy Clark to get it down inside the 30-yard line? Jared Lorenzen has broken the school record for consecutive passes without being intercepted. The old record was 105 consecutive passes without an interception by none other than my partner here, Bill Ransdell in the booth, who accomplished it back in 1985 and 86. Second down, about 3. Here goes Pinner, sweeping to the outside. And he's got the first down as he's driven out of bounds over at the far side of the field at about the 25-yard line. Mario Hagan. But Bill, that's not easy to do, to throw that many without an interception.
No, it's not. I tell you, it's unbelievable. And, I have my head downfield there. Look at that.
Jared Lorenzen now holds your old record.
I didn't know I even had that still.
That's one for the book.
Good for him. The records are made to be broken, as I've always been told, and I've learned through the years.
Pinner again, cranking it down close to the 20-yard line now. And that will bring up second down and 5 yards to go. Ronald Fields, the defensive tackle out of Bogalusa, Louisiana, makes the tackle for Mississippi State. Wildcats, second time they have had the ball this afternoon. Both times they have moved it into Mississippi State territory. As you look at Joe Lee Dunn, along with Jackie Searle here on the Bulldog sidelines, a guy who can come up with all different kinds of schemes and can really get the heat on it. Second down, a long 5. Pinner trying as best he can to find some running room, but there just wasn't much there. Finally, Robert Spivey, Josh Morgan, and Mario Hagan were in there to bring him down.
No place to go there. Good job there of Mississippi State's defense being shown. Watch the athleticism here. You can see right in front of you, there's Clark coming through. There's Morgan coming through. Pinner has no place to go. Mississippi State there showing you the athletic ability of this defensive front. And coming in, Kentucky knew this is one of the better 3 and 4 teams that they'll play all year.
Third down now and about 9 yards to go. Here's Lorenzen throwing for the end zone. And right at the pylon, it is incomplete. Intended for Tommy Cook, it falls incomplete.
And that's one of those, oh my goodness, give it back to me there. I just let him a little bit. He had a little pressure, came from the inside and forced him out of the pocket. Being a lefty, it moved him to his left, which was good for Jared. It's a lot easier to throw the way you are as far as a left-handed quarterback or a right-handed quarterback. When you do that, sometimes your momentum carries you just enough, and that ball just had a little bit too much on it, and it sailed out of bounds.
Well, it'll be spotted down now on this field goal attempt by Taylor Bigley. It will be spotted down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a 41-yard field goal attempt here by Taylor Bigley. And you can tell by the reaction it is no good. It sails wide or left. Wide to the left, no good. And we remain scoreless here at Scott Field.
Not where Kentucky wants to be right now. They've driven the ball between the 20s pretty consistently these first 2 drives. Defensively, they got the turnover on Mississippi State's first possession. You look at this team coming in, Kentucky is leading the turnover margin +5 to Mississippi State's -5. Kind of just the opposite of what you'd expect of a Joe Lee Dunn's defense. And if you're Kentucky, you've got to take advantage early of the turnovers and the ability to get on the board and really put the game back in your hands as far as continuing with your game plan.
Mississippi State takes over on offense right at its own 24-yard line with Fant at quarterback and Justin Griffith and Fred Reed behind him. They'll set in the I formation here. No score in the game with 5:53 left to go first quarter. Jackson had their opportunities both times, moving the ball into Bulldog territory here in this first period. Fant, incomplete. Terrell Grindle here at the near side of the field, the intended receiver. He's a fellow who has 107 catches on the season, 5th on the all-time list. To bring up second down and 10 yards to go.
A lot of catches, a lot of running around there. I tell you, they want to try to get Fant into the groove as early as possible today. He's had that Achilles and ankle injury, been out for a few weeks, and if he can get into a groove for Mississippi State, Mississippi State will have a lot better opportunity against this secondary.
This time they send 2 wideouts to each side of the field on second and 10. Incomplete. Intended for Justin Jenkins. The junior receiver who fumbled the ball the first time Mississippi State had the ball. He has missed the last 2 games, Bill, with a leg injury at a sprained muscle. Led the team in receiving last year. And he He's the guy who caught that 76-yard pass against the Wildcats last season, which really, I believe, led to the winning touchdown.
Right, and you can see on the replay there where Fant was able to sit there and do the little bootleg, got outside, and threw it in the hole. Just Jenkins could not come up with a catch.
Look at that. The Wildcats have dominated, but they don't have any points. It's still a scoreless football game. Third down now. 10 yards to go for the Dogs. Over the middle to the fullback. It's complete, and that's a Mississippi State first down. Justin Griffith holds it in. David Johnson on the tackle for the Wildcats. But Justin Griffith, the senior out of Sanatorium, Mississippi, who has 80 career catches. They like to throw to him a lot, and he gets a big catch right here.
And coming from the right of your screen in, you can see where he got a little move there on Seagal, was able to get inside and get a foot or two separation. All Fant had to do was just throw a little ball right there in his breadbasket. Nice play there by Fant.
Well, the Bulldogs have a first down, just shy of their own 40, and Fant puts it up again. It's incomplete here along the near sideline. Intended for Donald Lee, the tight end.
Lane defending.
And Morris Lane back there on the coverage for the Wildcats. Fant just, 1 for 4 on the afternoon. As you look at the numbers on Justin Griffith, he's got 14 passes this season for 130 yards. He's got so many balls, he currently stands 9th on their all-time receiving list coming out of the backfield. Second down and 10 yards to go. The Dogs again work out of the I formation. And Fant lost the handle and falls on it back at the 38-yard line. Going to be a loss of a yard or two. It'll bring up third down and long yardage. That's the kind of mistake, Bill, that will drive a coach crazy.
Drives him crazy. Watch and see if you can see anything of it. See how the ball kind of shot up through and caught the heel of Fant's hand right there. A lot of times you're able to grab it and pin it. That's your catch hand underneath there, the left hand in this case for Fant. But he was not. He had separated his catch hand, his trap hand, and the ball shot through and hit him in his shoulder pads before he could do anything.
Third and 12 now. Fant to the air again, and it's picked off. Quintus Cumby down to the 30-yard line. And the Wildcats have their second turnover of the afternoon. A fumble recovery early in the period. And now Quintus Cumby with an interception, and he brings it back to the Bulldog 30-yard line, and Kentucky is right back in business.
And all they're trying to do is throw a little post route inside there. Cumby sitting back in a two-deep zone. It's a man under, and then Cumby sitting there waiting. All he's doing is reading Fant. Let's see if we can see on this replay here. Fant just going to look. He's looking. He sits. He thinks he's got the post. Cumby jumps up inside, makes a nice play on the ball.
R2 spinner on first and 10. Punched it down to the 28-yard line. Short game. Hagan comes in to make the tackle along with Jason Clark, the defensive end. But Bill, the Wildcats with another golden opportunity here. This is the third time now they've had it in Bulldog territory. They have dominated the time of possession as we grow now to the final minutes of this opening period, but still Kentucky is not on the board, not yet. Second down, 8 yards to go. Lorenzen calling out an audible. Looks to the far side of the field. In and out of the hands of Tommy Cook. Had it right on his fingertips at the 24-yard line, falls incomplete. Kevin Dockery on the coverage for Mississippi State, and it will bring up third down now and long yardage.
And some of the easier passes that are thrown for receivers to catch are the ones you drop, because it's right there in your numbers, in your breadbasket, in your waist, whatever you want to call it. You take your eye off the ball. You're looking upfield trying to see if you can make some extra yardage, and sometimes those are the easy ones that get away. Kentucky cannot afford, Rob, to continue to have those kind of balls get away from them in opportunities.
Big play, third and 8, Lorenzen gunning it over the middle, and he's got Aaron Boone down inside the 5-yard line. First down and goal for the Wildcats inside the Bulldog 5. Josh Morgan, the dog safety, on the coverage for Mississippi State, but so far, Bill, this is the biggest offensive play of the game.
Jared just sits and is very patient. Boone's able to get inside of the safety, Josh Morgan, and keep his body between him and Lorenzen, and drives the ball right on in there. throw by Lorenzen.
Spinner takes the handoff on 1st and goal and does not get very much as Michael Goller comes up to make the stop along with Ronald Fields. Michael Goller, of course, basketball fans will remember him. He helped MSU get to the NCAA tournament, completing his basketball career. Then what does he do? He goes out for football. Hadn't played football since high school and quickly made an impression in spring practice, became a starter during the season. 2nd down and goal from the 4. Lorenzen throwing to the end zone, incomplete. Chase Harp was out there. It will bring up 3rd down and goal. Kevin Dockery back there on the coverage.
Kentucky just trying to do a little play action. Again, play action is not real effective if you're not able to run the ball effectively, which Kentucky has had some success right now in the 1st quarter. They gave a little play action to Penner and was trying to find Harp in the back of the end zone.
Wildcats with a little better than 100 yards total offense here in this 1st quarter, but they are not on the board yet. 3rd down and goal from the 4. Touchdown! Aaron Boone holds it in just across the goal line, and the Wildcats draw first blood. Dockery on the coverage, but Boone came open right over the middle, and Lorenzen hit him with a perfect pass, and we've got a Wildcat here. Matt Huff, the offensive tackle, is down on the field.
And right there on the replay, you can see basically that was a shortened version of the play that got him down here, that Boone caught the ball, took him to the 4-yard line. They were able to shorten the field, shorten the routes. Again, Boone, they had a little trips set out to the right. Boone was able to get out, put a little move, and work inside the post and get his defender on his back. Jared just stuck it right on his numbers where he needed to, and Boone made the catch.
So Kentucky takes the lead over Jackie Sherrill and Mississippi State here with 2 minutes 10 seconds left to go in this 1st quarter by a count of 6-0. Matt Huff still down on the field. We'll get another look here at the touchdown.
Jared steps up, gets a little pressure there. You can see Boone coming inside and is able to get his body and does the post, keeps the defender on his back at that point, which was Dockery, and he was just able to bring the ball down with his strength and hold on to the ball and not let Dockery pull it out of it. Well, you hate to see this if you're a Kentucky fan. I mean, Huff was moving pretty good. Hopefully it was just something, a little sting to start with, but he didn't look like he was feeling real good about it there, the way he was rolling around.
Now, this is the thing, Bill, that the Wildcats have been able to be free of for most of the season. Just have not been any bad injuries. Travel for today's game provided by Gold Shield Transportation. Just call 800-205-7330 for any and all occasions. Look for them on the web at www.gstrans.com.
What a ride it was, too, huh?
Oh, great trip down here.
Oh, yeah. I saw you stretch out a couple of times, too. At the Rascal Week, you could almost sit there and bring the pillow and the quilts and everything. It was nice. We had a great time with that.
Plenty of room to stretch out, watch the TV.
Had ESPN up, satellite working.
Well, you can see Matt Huff being helped off the field and
put a little weight on that. That's good to see. There you see just a little bit of weight he's putting on it. I mean, obviously he's hurting a little bit, or he would have been laying there, but it's always good to see. At least he's not having all his weight on the trainers going off there.
Wildcats have just scored on a 4-yard pass from Jared Lorenzen to Aaron Boone. Taylor Begley now, the freshman, out of Danville on to attempt the conversion out of the hold of Glenn Pagalac. And it's good. So we've got 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in this 1st quarter. And Kentucky moves out to a 7-0 lead on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Well, they got it down into Bulldog territory 3 times, Bill. A couple of times there inside the 40, did not come up with any points. But on this 3rd occasion, they do. And Kentucky has really dominated offensively here in the first half of this game.
They're controlling the ball. They're leading in time of possession, and that gives them up to 7 points right now, with Mississippi State having nothing, obviously. The big thing right now, I think that's exciting for Kentucky, Rob, is that they've been able to sit here and force 2 turnovers right now. And Mississippi State, if I'm not mistaken, they've had like 8 interceptions in the last 2 games or something just ridiculous. So it's kind of
11. 6 in one game, 5 in the other.
So you've got a defense now that's kind of taking a page out of Jolie Dunn's book, if you will, and being able to get some turnovers, a fumble to start out, an interception. If the defense can stay solid on that and keep everything in front of them and make Mississippi State try to throw the ball and they can get some pressure, then they're going to be where they want to be.
Why have malls become so popular? It's the one-stop shopping concept. Don't forget that your local Kentucky Farm Bureau insurance agent is a singular source of protection for your financial security as well as your property. Ask about whole life and term insurance, disability insurance, estate planning, long-term care insurance, and educational savings plans. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. All around coverage, all around Kentucky.
Before bad things happen, call Keamy, the only Kentucky name in workers' compensation. Kentucky Employers Mutual Insurance, making workers' comp work.
Maximize your time at Laundry and Tan Express and save money with coupons on the area's best shopping at 7onyourside.com. Laundry and Tan Express. See the difference at 2020 Covert Avenue, Evansville.
Fox 7 Sports is on your sideline, and no one gets you closer to the action than Fox 7. The Tri-State's best sports show follows the season on Football Fridays. And unless you're at the game, Fox 7 News at 9 always has your high school scores first. Join Mark McVicker, Rick Peltier, and the Fox 7 Top 7 all season long. Catch the hits, the misses, and all the scores first. Football Fridays on the Tri-State's best sports show. Fox 7 is on your sideline.
Clint Ruth has got it teed up at the 35-yard line to kick off, with Kentucky having moved in front 7-0. Here in the first quarter at Scott Field in Starkville. I'm Rob Bromley, along with Bill Ransdell here in the booth. Drew Diener's down on the field. Fred Reed is back deep along with Ray Bivens. And this is Reed from just behind his own goal line. Comes out of the 20 and brings it up to about the 25-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs will go to work. First and 10, Dion Holtz makes the tackle for the Wildcats. Scoring drive for the Wildcats, 6 plays, 29 yards, following the interception by Quintus Cumby. And it took just a minute 48. And Aaron Boone on the receiving end of the Jared Lorenzen pass from 4 yards out. It is 7-0 Wildcats.
His 13th and number 13. How about that?
Found with the I formation behind him. And looking deep down the middle of the field, incomplete. Grindle, the intended receiver. Derek Tatum back there on the coverage. Some of the fans thinking there was some contact, no flag.
You're going to have some inconsequential contact from time to time. Watch down to your right of your screen. A little pump fake to his right by fan, trying to let Tatum, if he's playing through the quarterback, look, and you can see he's just running with the ball. I mean, they may bump a little arm here and there, but that's a great no call by the ref.
Numbers on Kevin Fadd, just 1 of 6. Dante Walker has come in the Mississippi backfield for this series, and the senior out of Clinton, Mississippi, is hit in the backfield and dropped by Jeremy Caudle. Dante Walker, who really came into the season, Bill, overweight. There's no other way to put it. They list him in the media guide as 225 pounds, and they are listing him now at 248. Wow. He had some nicks and injuries back during the spring, but he simply has been overweight for most of the season. Third down. And about 11 yards to go now for Mississippi State. The pass over the middle is caught and then dropped by Grindle. And they call it incomplete. Incomplete pass. Would have been the third turnover of this first quarter if the Wildcats had been able to get it.
Let's take a look and see if we can see what it is. Does he have possession? Got it? Looks like he was headed there, but it's hard to say. It's you never can question the refs too much. I know Kentucky fans are frustrated after the strip last week the refs had against Georgia, too.
Here's Robert Wallace into the game to do the punting for Mississippi State. They fake the punt as Wallace tried to pass it here to the near side. It comes up incomplete. And the Wildcats will get the ball down at the Mississippi State 24-yard line.
Wow.
And as I look down at my chart here, Bill, just to see what he was averaging 46 yards per punt. I look back up and he had already thrown the football. Wow, what a break this is now for Kentucky here. With 1:34 left to go in the quarter, the Wildcats are right back in business at the Mississippi State 24.
And I can see he's looking out there. He saw a lot of separation, thought he had it, and it didn't look like there was a communication with the outside cover guy on the punt team.
So here's Kentucky in Mississippi State territory. 1st and 10 from the 24. Mike Campbell here at the near side of the field, and they call it incomplete. Michael Goller there on the coverage.
I believe on that punt, it was Flowers that was back there defending and was able to cause a problem and get up in front of the defenders, the wideout's face there. The cover man on the punt team is just a good heads-up play by getting over there and at least causing some disruption to put Kentucky in this position.
It is 2nd down and 10 yards to go as Lorenzen sends 2 receivers here to the near side. The Wildcats out of the I formation with Camfey and Pinner. And somehow Artus Pinner finds 5 yards and cracks it down to the 20-yard line. Josh Morgan. Dog safety makes the tackle along with Darren Williams for Mississippi State. It will bring up 3rd down and 5 yards to go.
And just a great effort there of Pinner of running. Hagan was able to make contact in the backfield. Did not wrap up because Pinner had some good hard leg drive and was, consequently Pinner gets another 4.5, 5 yards out of the play. Hagan's kicking himself right now for that.
3rd down and 5. Here's Lorenzen. Dumping it off to Pinner. Down inside the 17-yard line. That is still going to be 2 or 3 yards shy of the 1st down. Corey Burns, the cornerback, comes up to make the tackle for Mississippi State.
Watch right here. You get pressure right up the middle to the left of your screen. Forces Lorenzen to his right, which is not comfortable for a left-handed quarterback. Again, though, Pinner sitting there in the right place as a little check down. Pinner and Lorenzen's smart enough to know where his receivers are, gives it to Pinner, and they're able to get 3 or 4 yards out of it as opposed to a 5 or 6 yard sack.
It is 4th down and 2 yards to go, and we will get another field goal attempt here by Taylor Begley. It'll be spotted down at the 23-yard line. It'll be a 33-yard kick. And whistles all over the field just as the ball is snapped.
Before the snap, movement by the offensive line, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 4th down.
And that will now make it a 38-yard kick.
Great thought process. You can see Coach Morris right there. They're trying to sit and they're doing a little set and they're trying to get the defense to jump off sides. What the ref saw, he's saying that somebody on the offensive line of Kentucky was moving, though, prior to that with that set. That's that old cowboy shift, if people remember that. The offensive line kind of goes up, and then they set back down, and it's a great tool to pull in from time to time, but you got to be able to sit there and hold your ground.
All right, they move it back 5 yards now, and it will be spotted down at the 28-yard line by Glenn Pekelak. 38-yard field goal attempt by Begley. Plenty of leg into it, and it is good. So right at the end of the first quarter here, the Wildcats extend the lead. We played one quarter here at Scott Field in Starkville. And our score, Kentucky 10, Mississippi nothing. We'll continue in just a moment here on the University of Kentucky Television Network.
For more than 60 years, we've enjoyed being a part of people's lives. Now, we're a part of yours. Get caller ID, call waiting, and more in one convenient package. Sign up now and get a free caller ID phone. Alltel. Are you connected?
I'm a Ford truck man. That's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries. I don't compromise. It's Ford Truck Month. That means huge savings on 2002 and 2003 Ford trucks and SUVs. Get financing as low as 0% or as much as $4,000 cash back. Ford Truck Month is here with as low as 0% financing or up to $4,000 cash. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer now. Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built Ford tough.
The patients you see behind me all suffer from serious low back pain. Now, many were considering surgery, but within weeks, over 75% of them were pain-free, thanks to this revolutionary new treatment called VaxD that you're seeing here. It's patented, FDA approved, and non-surgical. To learn more, watch our special report, Back Pain Breakthrough, at the time shown on your screen. You don't have to suffer anymore.
Did you cut him with a knife?
No, ma'am. Are they the victims of a high school bully?
He kicked the window out. Dustin was getting out of the car to run, and then Tyson cut his arm.
Or is there more behind this story?
They don't like us because I don't know how to read, and they pick on me.
Does your brother know how to read?
A powerful case no parent should miss.
Explain to me why they don't go to school.
Next, Judge Judy.
Stupid.
Monday on Fox 7.
Jackie Sherrill down on the Mississippi State sidelines. He's watched his team fall behind here by a score of 10-0 in the first quarter of play. It's been a ball game so far, Bill Ransdell, that Kentucky has really completely dominated offensively. We've seen a couple of turnovers by the Bulldogs. Mississippi State faked a punt that didn't work, and it backfired on them. Just cost them 3 points right at the end of the quarter, and it's 10-0 Mississippi State. Let's go down on the field and check in with Drew Diener. Drew?
Well, Rob, not great news for Wildcat fans. Matt Huff, somebody fell on his knee on the play in which he was injured. He has strained his MCL, and he is out for the game, so will not return. So expect Sylvester Miller to spend the rest of the day there as he was going to get the start anyway. But Matt Huff will not return in this game.
Thank you, Drew. Wildcats getting set to kick off. We are far from a capacity crowd here at Scott Field this afternoon, but still I think under the circumstances, with Mississippi State coming in with just a 3-4 record and a chilly afternoon, 50 degrees or a little more than 50 degrees with a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind. Bill, it's not a bad turnout.
Not bad at all, and I'll tell you, whenever you get into a game as a player, you're really not concerned with the fans. You can hear them sometimes when you're on offense and the defense has a big series they're trying to hold for and vice versa. But usually when you're out there on that field, you've got the blinders on and your look staying focused on what you're doing. And usually it's not really a factor. You're out there to win a ball game.
Here's the kick by Clint Ruth, and from a yard or so deep, they fake the reverse, and Fred Reed races to the far side of the field and gets pretty good yardage out of this. He's all the way across the 30-yard line, close to the 35. Raymond Fontaine over there finally to drive him out of bounds.
A page out of Kentucky special teams coach Mark Nelson's book there. They're able to sit and come back and fake the reverse. If nothing else, they just want to slow down. The reverse just slows down the coverage team a little bit to be able to give them a little bit more room and time to find the open hole and funnel on that kickoff return team.
Bulldogs go to work 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Early moments of the second quarter, 10-0 Kentucky. Broken up over the middle. And a penalty marker goes down. Derek Tatum was there on the coverage on Brindle, but marker's down.
Kentucky came out in man coverage Mississippi State saw it. Fant was trying to throw the post down here to the near side, to the press box side against Tatum, and they got that flag in the area where they're going to call pass interference, it looks like.
Pass interference by the defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul because it is less than 15 yards from the line of scrimmage and an automatic first down.
Well, the Bulldogs have it now, first and 10 at their own 47. This time Fant sends 2 wide out to the right and 2 to the left. Dante Walker, the lone setback, and on the snap of the ball, penalty markers here go down. Let's see if Mississippi State jumped.
Offsides by the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Wildcats jump offside. That'll be first down and 5 yards to go, and that'll move it into Wildcat territory. Across midfield down to the 49-yard line. For live chats and the latest scores, stats, live total casts, and more, just visit www.ukathletics.com, your school's official athletic website. First down and 5 yards to go from the Wildcats' 49-yard line. Give it to the fullback, Darnell Jones. First time he's carried the ball this afternoon, and David Johnson is coming there to stop him. Jones, a sophomore out of Greenwood, Mississippi. Only no gain on the play. It will be second down and 5.
That's a good push by Kentucky's defensive line there. Robertson was there. Johnson was there. Nice job of pushing and getting under the shoulder pads of Mississippi State's offensive linemen and giving them no running lanes in there.
They spotted back close to the 50 now, really. This is second down and 6. And here's a little end around Grindle. Got some running room. Driven out of bounds here at the near sideline, right at the first down stick. Travis Atwell over there to drive him out. Derek Tatum coming up to help out.
3-yard line, gain of 7 yards.
Watch your screen. See how the Kentucky's defensive line is all working with the offensive line of Mississippi State there. They're faking. They did a little fake power ISO off the right side. Kentucky's defensive line all goes that way. They get the reverse coming to Grindle the opposite way, putting the pressure on. They get the reverse coming to Grindle the opposite way, putting the pressure on Kentucky secondary to step up as they did and make a tackle.
It's enough for a Bulldog first and 10 now from the 43. Walker pulling his way forward to the 40-yard line. Picks up 2, maybe 3 yards. Looked like John Robinson was in there to stand him up and bring him down. Justin Haydock coming in to help out. It's at the 40. It will be second down and call it 7 yards to go. Deepest penetration of the afternoon so far for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Again, they send 2 wide out to the right and 2 here to the left. Total yards so far. Kentucky with 114. The Bulldogs just coming up on 60. Walker. Bull runner fights his way down to the 36. John Robinson again in there to push him back.
Good running there.
First down by about 2-3 yards.
Good running by Walker, just as you say, bullying. He's coming in there behind Jones and Weathers and Hutchinson's Tucker. I'm telling you, watch right here. Watch him sit there. First contact, boom. Continues, feet driving, head down, leaning forward. Good running there. Good push by Mississippi State's offensive line there.
And again, we've got movement here along the Bulldog offensive front as the Bulldogs came up to the line for a big third down play. Third down and 2.
5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Critical penalty on Jackie Sherrill's team. They got it 3rd down and 2 down at the 35. Now they move it back to the 40, and they've got to go 7 yards.
And it looked like the left tackle there, Hutchins, it looked like he just jumped up a little bit, little too anxious before the snap there, and was not quite locked in the way he should have been.
Dogs just 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. All kinds of running run for Justin Griffith down the sideline. Derek Tatum finally drives him out of bounds, but not only does he have a 1st and 10, he's got it all the way down to the Wildcat 11-yard line.
That's I tell you, that's one of those Hutchins. It went right back over the left side that time. Watch to your right of your screen coming right at you. You can see they're able to sit and get the block. Cumbie gets caught up inside. Tatum was inside looking and ended up chasing inside out and was able to use the 12th player, the out of bounds marker, to get him out and to stop him, save a big touchdown.
1st and 10 at the Kentucky 11. Walker hit behind the line of scrimmage, but is able to squirt forward and get it just over the 10-yard line. Jeremy Caudle in there on the stop for the Wildcats. Claude Seguel coming up to help out. 11 minutes, 55 seconds left to go here in the first half of the clock running. It is 10-0 Kentucky, but the Mississippi State Bulldogs with their first serious threat of the afternoon as they have it now. 2nd down, 8 yards to go, just inside the Wildcat 10. Fant got it away, incomplete. Broken up by Antoine Huffman right down to the goal line. Brindle was the intended receiver. And a fine defensive play by Antoine Huffman. And Fant now falls to just 1 for 8 on the afternoon. The one completion good for 16 yards.
Wow. I tell you, and that's exactly what you want. As you said, Huffman just made an excellent play on the ball, was able to sit there, get his hand in at just the right time. And on Fant's defense, he's 1 of 8. He's thrown some good balls, though, at this point. So somebody's going to have to start making some plays on the Mississippi State side as far as the receiver. Somebody's going to have to step up there.
Well, Kevin Fant comes up to the line, decides to call a timeout on a critical 3rd down and 8 at the Kentucky 9-yard line, with his team trailing here in this game by a score of 10-0. Let's break away for just a moment. 11:33 left to go in the half. Kentucky up 10-0 on Mississippi State. You're watching the University of Kentucky Television Network.
I've worked for Speedway in Kentucky for 16 years.
I've lived in Kentucky all my life, and now I manage the Speedway in my hometown.
The best part of my job is making people happy.
I love what I do, and I love to see my customers smile.
I'm real proud of what we do here in Kentucky, and I challenge anyone to do it better than we do.
Speedway is Kentucky proud, and proud to support University of Kentucky football.
Fox 7 Sports is on your sideline, and no one gets you closer to the action than Fox 7. The Tri-State's best sports show follows the season on Football Fridays. And unless you're at the game, Fox 7 News at 9 always has your high school scores first. Join Mark McVicker, Rick Peltier, and the Fox 7 Top 7 all season long. Catch the hits, the misses, and all the scores first. Football Fridays on the Tri-State's best sports show. Fox 7 is on your sideline.
The work week is tough enough on Sunday nights. Who needs the drama? This week, the new Fox Sunday premieres with the brand new Simpsons Halloween special.
You're actually quite gentle when you want to be.
You know, you're not helping.
Followed by the season premieres of King of the Hill.
Hey!
And Malcolm in the Middle, both at their new times.
The tarantula is actually a very timid creature. Once the swelling goes down, the fangs should fall out.
It all starts with the classic Simpsons at 7:30, Fox Sunday.
And we welcome you back to Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi. Rob Bromley along with Bill Ransel, two teamers down on the field. The Kentucky Wildcats scoring 10 straight points in the first quarter. Mississippi State still trying to get on the board. And the Bulldogs coming up here with a critical 3rd down and 8 situation from the Wildcat 9-yard line.
And if you're sitting here looking, you're wondering if you're Kentucky. I mean, Mississippi State has to run the ball. They've shown that they want to throw the ball here a little bit because they think they can have some success as they've at least shown that they're getting the ball downfield. And in Kentucky's defense, they've had some good plays on the ball at this point. But will Mississippi State come back and try to run it? Again, here's the replay. Fant throws a nice little ball right in there on the post route. But a good play again there by the secondary of Kentucky, and especially Huffman, and being able to time that out. Don't be surprised, though, if you see, we haven't seen really is a screen or any kind of draws here. It's something a little different to try to take Kentucky and change some things and take advantage of that big pass rush that they have up front.
Here we go on 3rd down and 8 from the Wildcat 9 as Fant drops back into the shotgun. Looking into the end zone, throwing for the corner. Touchdown, Grindle. Terrell Grindle. Antoine Huffman was back there on the coverage, but Billy came open, and Kevin Fant, completing just his second pass of the afternoon, makes this one count.
That's a big one. Watch to the top of your screen here. You can see Fant steps up inside. By this time, Grindle is able to put a little move inside, which Huffman was able to break up on the post before. Breaks it out just on a straight out. They didn't need to do anything fancy. They didn't run a screen or draw or anything special. They just went right at Huffman on a man-to-man and said, hey, our guy Grindle is better than yours, and we're going to take advantage of it.
And the conversion by Brent Smith. It is through the uprights. Mississippi State on the board for the first time this afternoon. 11 minutes, 27 seconds left to go in this second quarter. And the Wildcat lead is shaved to 3 at 10-7. We'll come right back to Starkville in just a moment. You're watching the University of Kentucky Television Network.
In a few moments, St. Joseph's top surgeons, nurses, and staff will gather around this table.
Come to Diamond Equipment to rent your case. Strong enough for any job.
Bob, did you remember to take out the trash?
All right, I'm back on the case. Rely on Diamond Equipment for the best in rentals, sales, and service of case equipment.
Big savings are at your fingertips 24/7, only at the area's best shopping. Check 7onyourside.com for this week's special offers, including Push Skate Shop and Indian Woods Townhomes. Find the bargains, print the coupons, whenever you want. Only on area's best shopping. Exclusively at 7onyourside.com. Fox 7 is on your side.
Well, it is now a 10-7 ball game. Wildcats have had the ball, more possession time, no question about that. They have had more opportunities, but Bill, they're only 3 points in front.
Well, and I think we started out talking, you've got to take advantage of the mistakes when they have happened. You only have so many big plays in any given game that you're able to sit and get, be it throwing a long pass or throwing, getting a big run. You can't have the hold on it. There's only a few of those that happen, and then you take into account on that, Rob, turnovers. You only get a fumble or an interception. It's not something that teams are coached to do. You always, it's something that comes up and you try to force and happen, but you need to take advantage of those when they happen, and that's what Kentucky's got to do, and they were able to get 10 points, and that's a good one. And you can see again, though, Huffman just got caught inside. He's looking for the post again. Grindle breaks it to the outside. Fant, with a good rhythm throw, was able to put it right on the money.
Derek Abney along with Arliss Beach. Back to return the kick here of Brent Smith. Abney cuts it here to the near side. Finds a little bit of running room. And does a great job to get it just to the 45-yard line. Another fine return by Derek Abney. Slovakia Griffith drives him out of bounds, but the Wildcats indeed will have good field position.
Great return there by Abney. It could be what Kentucky's offense needs. Kentucky's offense has been averaging field position starting around the 36-yard line. That's a huge, huge advantage where some teams are, in the 15, 16, 18-yard line. So it just takes away the extra first downs you don't need. Every 10 yards helps your offense not have to go as far and make as much yardage.
Catch from their own 45 and nearly intercepted. Oh, boy. Michael Golar would love to have that one back. If Golar had it back, he would have had 6, and Mississippi State would have had the lead.
Ball's deflected at the line of scrimmage, and that ball hits him. That's just like a chest pass in basketball. I'm sure he's wanting that one back. And I tell you, if he's not there, if the ball isn't deflected, I don't know that he's not gone the other way, because the deflection, it looked like it just kind of caught Golar off guard a little bit.
Second down and 10 yards to go from the 45-yard line. Nothing for Archie Spinner. In fact, he lost a couple of yards as Mario Higgins, the senior out of Clarksdale, Mississippi, got in there to make the stop. Bring up third down and long, third down and 12. And you can see Higgins just fill this hole with no trouble at all.
Just went around. He's quick enough to run around the block there. What coaches don't teach kids growing up, you don't run around it, you run through it. He had the quickness of foot to get around it and still fill the hole.
That's 4 of 7 on third down today. This is third and 12. And Tommy Boyd had to wait. Tommy Cook had to wait on the pass a little bit, and Kevin Dockery got in there to break it up.
And that's one of those right there that you want to be able to, the receiver has got to come back to the ball. Cook was a yard and a half beyond the stakes for the first down, which is what you're taught to do. And in theory, you want to do and have to do, but when the ball is kind of floating, Jared got a little pressure, threw that ball off his back foot. The receiver has got to come back and make the catch, and at least, if nothing else, put your defensive punting team in a better field position.
Glenn Pakalak, voted one of 10 semifinalists for the Ray Guy Award earlier this week. He can get a foot into it. Corey Banks trying to field it here at the near side of the field.
I think that ball touched him a little bit, so he took off running back there. And then he decided that it was going to get a muff. If you don't control or possess the ball, it's called a muff. And I think he just kind of forgot that for a second, Banks did there, and he got a little nervous and ran back trying to grab it and thought better, and something hit him again, and hey, let's leave it alone.
Our next telecast will be coming your way on November 16th when the Vanderbilt Commodores come into Commonwealth Stadium to take on the Wildcats. Check your local listings for the time in your area. We'll have it on a delay basis, Kentucky and Vanderbilt. So it comes back out of the 20, where Fant and company have it first and 10, trailing now just by a score of 10-7. Over the 20, across the 30, and all the way across midfield for Mississippi State. Penalty markers go down. Jarius Norwood carrying the ball for the first time this afternoon, the freshman out of Brandon, Mississippi. Derek Tatum finally got to him, but there's a penalty marker, Bill, dropped all the way back at the 15-yard line. I think you can see the hold right there.
Right there at the point of attack, you can see Lee was grabbing a hold of Johnson. Johnson was able to keep his outside shoulder free and stepped up. You can see right there at the back, it's kind of hard, it's quick right there, but Lee had him. Johnson was able to turn his body enough and expose how much Lee had him as far as letting the cloth pull from his jersey. And it's just a good job there of the officials seeing it. And usually it's hard sometimes, Rob, to get away with those, especially at the point of attack.
Holding by the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Much to the displeasure of the Bulldog fans here in Starkville. So a big run, the first of the afternoon by Jarius Norwood, is nullified, and the 10-yard penalty will march it all the way back to the Bulldog 10-yard line. First down and 20 yards to go. They now have Justin Griffith as the lone running back, set behind Kevin Fant. And on the snap of the ball, Fant goes right down on one knee.
Little cadence work there, trying to draw somebody offside. Usually when that happens, the center and quarterback are snapping the ball quickly. They think they have an offsides.
Ball carrier.
And case. They're saying it's second down. Nobody on the side judge or line judge saw anything, and it did not work to Mississippi State's displeasure.
So they lose a down. And it's now second down and 20 yards to go. And throwing deep down the near sideline. It's caught by Grindle. And Grindle will take this one all the way to the house for a touchdown. And just like that, Mississippi State has the lead on a 90-yard pass play. Kevin Fant to Terrell Grindle.
And when you can have the success like that, you don't need that extra down. Watch right here. Tatum gives a little push, pushes him out of bounds because he knows he's getting beat. He'd rather give up a 10 or 15-yard penalty than give up a touchdown. And to Grindle and to Fant's defense there, they were able to they did not quit on the play. Grindle went and made the catch. Big play by Mississippi State. Wow.
So the Bulldogs move in front 13-10 here with 9:13 to go in the half. And the extra point by Brent Smith is through the uprights. And just like that, when Mississippi State was backed up with second down and 20 at its own 10-yard line, it is 90 yards. Kevin Fant to Terrell Grindle. And I believe that was the longest offensive play in Mississippi State history. We'll continue in a moment from Scott Field here in Starkville with the Bulldogs leading over Kentucky 14-10.
I'm a Ford truck man. That's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries. I don't compromise. It's Ford Truck Month. That means huge savings on 2002 and 2003 Ford trucks and SUVs. Get financing as low as 0% or as much as $4,000 cash back. Ford Truck Month is here with as low as 0% financing or up to $4,000 cash. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer now. Ain't no doubt my king of the mountain.
Jackie Sherrill has the same expression on his face that he had earlier in this game back in the first quarter when he was behind by a count of 10-0, but he's got to be a whole lot happier now because his team, Bill, has the lead for the first time, 14-10.
Well, it looks like the professor there. He's just taking his notes. He's a weathered coach. He's been through it several times. He doesn't get too excited. You can see there on the sideline, Shane Boyd. I guess the question is, will he get in it all? A lot of people were talking about it this week in Kentucky. Could Kentucky be able to sit and do what Georgia did? And with Dockery, could they bring Boyd in and have added facet to where he can get into the game and give them an added dimension and just a different look while still being able to use Lorenzen? And I guess the question will be is, will he see the field today at some point?
And Brent Smith here. As the Bulldogs try to come up with the football, let's go down on the field to Drew Diener.
Game right now. He was just talking with Brent Peace, the offensive coordinators, and the receivers are meeting up. They said we're going to go with a little change of pace this series. Shane Boyd in the game, Jared Lorenzen out. For how long, we don't know, but he's definitely in this series.
So Shane Boyd is in. Thank you, Drew. Sophomore out of Lexington, Kentucky, 6'2", 239 pounds. Cats work out of the I formation. Pinner takes the pitch. And down he goes, back behind the 25-yard line at the 24. Willie Evans on the stop for Mississippi State.
A little misunderstanding in the backfield. Campe, the fullback, went to the left. Looked like Shane opened to toss it that way. Penner went to his right. He did not have any place to go. I think Artouche just got mixed up with where he was going to go with the ball there.
Second down now and 14 yards to go here. Boyd gets the pass away, but it falls incomplete. Intended for Bernard up at the 28-yard line, 29-yard line. And it's going to bring up third down and long yardage. T.J. Mawhinney on the coverage. So third down and long for the Kentucky Wildcats, who have just fallen behind in this game by a score of 14-10.
Kentucky's offense needs a big play here, Rob. Something just to if nothing else, something consistent here. Just a positive play, because they've not had a good positive play as far as in the last few series here. You want something to build on right here.
And Boyd now goes under center after setting up with the shotgun, and penalty markers go down.
Flag on the ground.
For the snap, movement by the offensive line, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, things get a little worse.
Bad to worse. Shane's trying to do a check off at the line of scrimmage. He sees something he doesn't like. He goes up. He's changing the play. The fans that are here get very loud. It's hard to hear. Those linemen start moving around, and somebody rocked just a little too much.
Kentucky 4 of 8 on third down conversions. Now it's third down and about 19, and another whistle here, and a penalty marker goes down just at the snap of the ball.
For the snap, movement by the offensive line, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
I think that time it might have been Sylvester Miller, Bill.
Little jitters there. He tried to get back, and those big offensive tackles, Sylvester is on the left side, so you want to kick that left leg out of there and get some good lateral drop there to be able to defend and push that defensive end up and back out behind the quarterback, and he just was a little too quick there.
Well, this is third down now and 24. Boyd lofting it down the near sidelines for Pinner, incomplete. Josh Morgan, one of the dog safeties, back there on the coverage for the Bulldogs, and the Cats will have to give it up.
Nice thought there by Boyd. He was able to break containment, get outside, and leave all the trash inside. He did not give up on the pass there. He was able to watch and had Pinner. Pinner was working against Morgan man-to-man. He had a step or two, just wasn't able to bring the ball down with it.
Well, Glenn Pakalak now will have to stand back at his own 1-yard line. Corey Banks just the other side of midfield to return it for Mississippi State. And back goes Banks a few steps. He takes it into the 31, slips a tackle, gets a little running room, comes to the near side and out of bounds. Bulldogs will get it with fairly good field position at their own 39-yard line to begin their next series. And they have the lead here in the second quarter by a score of 14-10.
7-yard return.
Guy Morris saw his team go out to a 10-0 lead in the first quarter. Although the Wildcats had two other chances in Bulldog territory that they were not able to take advantage of. Mississippi State has come back with a couple of touchdowns, one on a 90-yard pass play to take the lead 14-10. And they pitch it to Jarius Norwood, brought down by Dion Holtz. Gain is up across the 41 to the 42-yard line. Call it a pickup of about 4 to be second down and 6 yards to go.
Watch for Mississippi State to really pound this ball. Again, it's Jackie Sherrill football. He loves to run the ball, wear you down, and then take advantage of you. They're going to just keep attacking the middle of that Kentucky defensive line as much as they can. When they see man coverage outside, look for them to take it up top.
That with a fake. And swinging it here to Darnell Jones out of the backfield, and he's got the first down as he goes down into Wildcat territory. Justin Haydock making the stop for the Wildcats. Darnell Jones, a sophomore out of Greenwood, Mississippi.
Little play action. You have some success again running. You're able to sit and throw the ball. Just able to slip him out into the flat there. Gives it to him. There's nobody on him. Kentucky's playing a zone defense.
Well, we got a penalty, Bill, and a holding call against the Bulldogs. Flag was dropped back around the 37-yard line, and Jackie Sherrill disgusted with that call.
Well, a big break for the Kentucky defense, and what you want to see here is you want to see Kentucky pin their ears back and get some push. Right now, the offensive line of Mississippi State is being able to control or at least neutralize the defensive line of Kentucky. You want to see that defensive line get some push into the backfield and force the running backs to have to find other running lanes.
Second down and long. Trent under pressure, got it away, incomplete. And well, he had a couple of receivers out there. It falls incomplete. It will bring up third down and long yardage. Third down at about 17.
There ended up being more Kentucky guys around that ball than anybody. That, again, for our viewers, that's the old, you get out of the pocket in college. Now you get outside the tackle box, you can throw the ball away. They're trying to, again, with the trend like the NFL started, save the quarterbacks and not have the intentional grounding call always, but give the quarterback an option.
From the 33, third down, 17 yards to go for Mississippi State. And Tatum had that one go right through his hands. Oh, my pass was thrown well behind the intended receiver, and Derek Tatum had a shot at it but couldn't get it.
And those are the kind, again, you only have so many of those in a game. Kentucky seems to be just letting a lot of these opportunities early, Rob, in this first half continue to slip away.
Now Robert Wallace now will be in to punt it away. Faked a punt earlier, so this will be his first kick of the afternoon.
To Mr. Excitement.
Derek Abney waiting. And it's blocked. Ball hits down around the 33-yard line. I think Dustin Williams got in there, got a hand on it. And the Wildcats come up with a block punt. Dustin Williams, the redshirt freshman out of Channahon, Illinois, and we'll get another look at it right here.
Watch right through your left view screen. He almost quits on it. He doesn't think he has it. He throws his hand up right here. Oh, he didn't even know if he had his hands crossed. He's aiming in front of it. He's able just to get some fingers on it, enough to block the ball.
Now they call it a block punt. Jackie Sherrill has come about 7 or 8 yards out onto the field arguing here.
Ball is marked at the 35-yard line.
There's some animation. He's a little excited now. That his demeanor's changed. Jackie's thinking the ball was blocked. Okay, so then if the ball goes beyond the line of scrimmage and hits a Kentucky player, Mississippi State falls on the ball. It's their ball because of the touching, just like it had he punted the ball downfield and the guy in the returner for Kentucky dropped it. The ruling, though, they said was that the ball didn't go beyond. If it stays behind the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter who it touches. It goes to Kentucky on the turnover.
Well, the Wildcats get it down to the Bulldog 35, and they give it to Pinner. He cracks it down inside the 30 on 1st and 10. Jason Clark on the tackle for Mississippi State. And the Wildcats with another great opportunity here to get some points. They mark it right at the 30-yard line. It'll be second down and a long 5 yards to go for Guy Morris's crew. They split Tommy Cook out to the left side as Kentucky sets in the eye. Pitch to Pinner. Cuts it back. And is upended as he falls forward very close to where the first down marker is at the 24-yard line. Corey Banks getting in there to knock him down. They mark it Bill back at the 25. It'll be a little shy, I believe, of the first down.
Little toss sweep. Canfe out leading it. Pinner looks. He sees a little funnel there. Works it and cuts it back. Luckily for Mississippi State, Banks was trailing the play inside out and was able to get a hand on Pinner before he cut it all the way back untouched.
Less than a yard to go from the 25, and Pinner squeezes in there, and I think he was able to get through and get enough yardage for the 1st and 10. Let's see. Ronald Fields, the defensive tackle, sophomore out of Bogalusa, Louisiana, comes in to make the stop for Mississippi State.
Looks like a questionable mark. I don't think they're going to have it based on the mark at this point. I think they're going to come up with
they've marked it back close to the 25-yard line. And if that's the case, it'll be 4th down coming up. It is 4th down for the Wildcats. They are shy of the first down by inches. No measurement as they leave the chains over at the far side of the field, and we've got a timeout called here with 5 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the first half. And Sylvester Miller getting up slowly, but I think he's all right.
Well, they definitely can't afford to lose too many more. I tell you, they lost Huff there in that first quarter, and Miller has been filling in for Huff. Looks like he just got shaken up a little bit, and he's going off under his own power. That's a great sign.
We'd like to remind you to stay tuned for the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield halftime show. We'll have that coming up at the conclusion of the first half. There's still a long ways to go in this second quarter, and the Wildcats now with a 4th down and inches just inside the Bulldog 25-yard line. Lorenzen trying to reach forward and get the first down, and I do not believe he made it.
I don't think
Jason Clark, the defensive end, was the man who squeezed in there and pushed him back.
Defensive line there at Mississippi State got under the offensive line of Kentucky and was able to sit and stabilize and neutralize. Look right there.
How do you like that? The Wildcats
Jason
with a
Clark.
couple of cracks from less than a yard. His final time just inches from a first down. They do not get it. It's right at the 25-yard line.
And again, another missed opportunity here in the first half, Rob, and it's one of those things that Kentucky can't do. Mississippi State has too good of athletes over there to let them just continue to hang around in this game.
Bulldogs take over now with just under 5 minutes to go in the quarter. 1st and 10. And another fine run by Jarius Norwood. This freshman back out of Brandon, Mississippi, keeps racking up the yardage here in the second quarter. Mike Williams finally over there to make the tackle, but not before he gets it across the 40 to the 42.
Watch Miller here. He's able to set. He's outside. He cuts back in and back out. And watch right here at the end. Tatum's coming up to make the tackle. He just gives him a good forearm shuck and said, look, this is our house. I'm going to get this yardage. Right now, the defense of Kentucky is playing on their heels right now. They have got to get a push upfield from that defensive line.
17 yards for the young running back, and here he goes again.
Norwood.
Jarius Norwood comes up to the 45-yard line. Be a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Jeremy Caudle on the stop for the Wildcats. Morris Lane in there.
45-yard line, even 3 yards. 2nd down and 7.
4.5 minutes left to go here in the first half at Starkville, Mississippi. Rob Bromley along with Bill Ransdell, Drew Dieners down on the field. Bulldogs with a 14-10 lead after trailing early in the game, 10-0. Norwood trying to get a block from his fullback and does a lot of the work himself as he gets it up to midfield and just across midfield. Still shy of the first down. Ronnie Riley over there to drive him out.
Johnson was able to get upfield. They just ran a little toss there, and Johnson was able to get upfield and force him outside, where Riley was able to get him and force him out of bounds. Again, though, he's still able to pick up some yardage right now. They're not getting the push up front that they need from this defensive front of Kentucky.
3rd down, a short 2 here from right at the midfield stripe. Norwood picks up the necessary yardage. Carries it down to the 47-yard line of the Wildcats. It's a 1st and 10 for Mississippi State.
47-yard line.
Mike Williams on the tackle. Morris Lane was in there for the Wildcats. But the Dogs move into Wildcat territory where they have it 1st and 10. Leading here 14-10 and threatening to get more here late in the second quarter. Bulldogs now with 10 first downs on the afternoon. Kentucky with 6. They'll just give it to Norwood now every play. Penalty marker goes down as Norwood carries across the 45 down to the 43. Quintus Cumbley up there on the stop. Morris Lane coming in to help out.
Flag on the play.
And the initial indication is it's a hold against the Bulldogs.
Well, anytime you get that kind of...
During the run, holding by the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, 1st down.
Anytime you have that kind of success and you're getting the holes open like Mississippi State is right now, you can bet that the refs are going to be watching the point of attack there, Rob, and seeing if they got a lot of cloth coming out and if their hands are outside the framework of the defensive guy, they're going to throw the flag 9 times out of 10. And right there, that's exactly what you saw with right there at the point of attack.
Penalty moves it back to the 47-yard line. 1st down, 16 yards to go. And the pass is caught at the 40-yard line and taken down to the Wildcat 37. Ray Bivens. Derek Tatum on the tackle for the Wildcats. Close to a first down. I think it's just short.
Little three-step drop. 1, 2, 3. Set throw. It's a rhythm pass. It's a slant. Bivens was able to get inside of Tatum. A pretty good thrown ball by Fant. Good catch there by Bivens of bringing it in and holding on to the ball.
It is short by less than a yard. Second down. Forward a couple of feet to go for the first down, and Fred Reed will pick up the first and 10 with ease. Driven out of bounds over at the far side of the field. Leonard Barres over there to drive him out. But it's a Mississippi State first down at the 29-yard line of the Wildcats.
And right now you can see Mississippi State is doing a running back by committee. They're able to have Reed and Norwood, and they've even had Walker in there a little bit, but Reed and Norwood right now are able to sit there and being able to have fresh legs about every other play, and you mix in Griffith and Jones at the fullback. Those guys are really doing a job right now.
This is first and 10 from the 29, and they run the reverse to Jenkins. Penalty marker goes down, and Jenkins is collared by Otis Grigsby at about the line of scrimmage. He got about a yard out of it. But a penalty marker goes down as Justin Jenkins coming around the other way, and the penalty will go against the Bulldogs.
Let's see, you can see little toss sweep with the reverse back the other way. Fans out leading it. Grigsby caught inside, was able to use his makeup speed and come back around and make the tackle. Good recovery there by Grigsby and being able to make up some ground and make the tackle there at the end.
Fifth penalty on Mississippi State, and the Bulldogs have now been penalized for 45 yards. Blocking in the back will take it back just the other side of the 40. And Guy Morris breathing a little easier as his defense tries to hang on here in the last 2 minutes and 27 seconds of this second quarter. Now they're going to respot the football here. They're going to mark at the other side of the 40-yard line at the 39. So the line of scrimmage will be the 39-yard line of the Wildcats. And it will be first down, 20 yards to go right there. Fant got it away over the middle. It's intercepted. Picked up by Morris Lane. Over the 50-yard line and finally driven out of bounds at about the Bulldogs 45. Big turnover as Morris Lane, the senior out of Naylor, Georgia, comes up with the interception. And Bill, for the Wildcats, this could not have come at a better time.
Not at all. Again, play action there, trying to get it down. I don't know what happened. It looked like Fant went stiff leg, and his lead leg got caught in the turf. The ball just kind of fluttered, and Lane was where he needed to be because there's nobody there except Kentucky players. The one receiver for Mississippi State was deep on the left-hand side, Bivens, and the other one was on the right-hand side.
There's Lorenzen trying to go to the air, got it away, and it's caught by Bernard. Good catch on a tip ball, and he takes it down inside the 30-yard line to the 27. Tommy Kelly on the tackle. Darren Williams back there on the stop, I beg your pardon. But it's a Wildcat first down. They will mark it at the 28-yard line of Mississippi State, and still plenty of time left here in this first half. The clock running with 1:43 to go. Pinner inside the 20, cuts it back and goes inside the 10-yard line. And the clock stops with 1:33 left on another first down. Josh Morgan makes the stop for Mississippi State. Now, what a change of events here over the last minute.
Well, and it's been a game of streaks where Kentucky scored, Mississippi State scored. You've had a turnover here or there that's flipped it around. You've not been able to get, and Kentucky was very fortunate on that ball that Lorenzen threw 2 plays ago. The ball went through Hagan's hands. He's sitting right there before the catch was made.
Well, down in the red zone, we'll call it the blue zone, as the Wildcats call timeout this season. Kentucky 24 of 30, coming away with 154 points. That blue zone, of course, Bill, inside the 20-yard line.
Well, they've done a great job of that, and I tell you, anytime you can go, they've only had one loss of down there. 2 missed field goals, one of which today. Anytime you can do that, you can put points on the board. You come out there with a little confidence. You can see right there, Penner, it was a toss sweep. He had to bounce in, back out, and was able to get a good cut back. And you can see Morgan coming in at the end after the first Mississippi State defender wrapped him up. He was trying to strip the ball and was unable to because of Penner's conscious effort to keep the ball close to him.
Arturs Penner now with 19 carries and 64 yards on the afternoon. He needed 108 coming in here today to hit 1,000 on the season. The Wildcats have it first down and goal just inside the Mississippi State 9-yard line. And you can see the time remaining here in this first half, 1 minute 33 seconds. Kentucky trying to retake the lead before we hit halftime. Cook coming around from the right side, right at the goal line. Nick Sight signaling touchdown, but no indication from the officials. They are going to mark it just shy of the goal. Darren Williams, the free safety, knocked him out of bounds, and now they indicate touchdown. Now, he was right at the pylon as he comes around here and takes the handoff from Jared Lorenzen. Bill, good job by Tommy Cook to get to the goal line.
Yeah, watch him just lower his head and drive. There's the ball crosses, and he took the pylon out before he... Call it correctly for Kentucky.
Taylor Begley on now to attempt the extra point as Kentucky regains the lead, 16-14. The high snap, and Pakalak is just swarmed under back of the 19-yard line. Corey Banks was in there and was all over him.
The extra point is no good.
And that could be critical here, as it will leave the Wildcats with just a 2-point lead, 16-14.
Again, it just doesn't seem like Kentucky, Rob, today has really been in sync in any kind of real rhythm here. It's one they'll get a play here and then they drop the ball, or they miss the interception or something. Just the guys off sides, or just something here and there. They just haven't been able to put several plays together back to back. Again, look here at Cook here. Puts his head down, drives. Oh, he got it. Nice play by Cook.
And there you can see the snap going way high. Glenn Pakalak got his hands on it, but there wasn't much that he could do because Corey Banks, senior out of Boynton Beach, Florida, comes in and hauls him down, and it's a 2-point Wildcat lead at 16-14. But, Bill, if you go back a couple of minutes ago, it looked like Mississippi State could extend a 14-10 lead, and how quickly things turn around following the interception by Morris Lane. Good job of running in there by Arturs Penner. And then Tommy Boyd coming around and taking the handoff and getting the touchdown from 9 yards out. 3 plays, 45 yards. It took only 39 seconds, and Kentucky has gone back in front.
Oh, you're exactly right. They had Kentucky's defense reeling a little bit, sitting back on their heels because they weren't really sure where things were coming from, where they were headed. And I tell you, it's a good job there by getting a little push there and making Fant have to step up in that pocket. He got out, like I said, couldn't tell what it was, if somebody hit him and it pulled the ball, or if he just misstepped with his lead foot and kind of caught himself off guard and threw an ugly ball, and Lane was there to make a big play.
Here's the kick by Clint Ruth, and it comes to the near side of the field to Fred Reed. Comes over the 15, up at the 20, finds some running room right up the middle of the field and gets it over the 30-yard line to the 32. Arliss Beach, freshman out of Ashland, tripped him up for Kentucky's return unit, kickoff unit. And we still have 1:19 left on the clock here in this first half. As Kevin Fant and the Mississippi State offense at one time trailed 10-0, fought back to go on top 14-10, now find themselves behind 16-14. They go with Norwood and Griffith set in the I formation behind Fant, and this is Norwood. Keep it on the ground, comes out of bounds at the 34. Gain of a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go, and the clock stops with 1:14 left.
Good job there by Tatum staying home. Mississippi State came out in a 2 tight end set. They're going to sit and try to pound some things inside. If they can break one through, then great. If not, they'll come back another down and try to take it up top if they're going to. Before the half, Tatum stayed at home and was able to use the sidelines to get him out of bounds.
Norwood. Ronnie Riley comes in to make the play defensively. Knocks him down at the 37. Pick up of a couple of more yards, but it will still be 3rd down and about 4.5 yards to go for a Bulldog first down.
3rd down and 4.
We're under the 1-minute mark now as we're down to 50 seconds here at Scott Field. Rob Bromley along with Bill Ransdell. Drew Diener's down on the field. The Kentucky Wildcats, after falling behind 14-10, have gone in front 16-14. Mississippi State keeping it on the ground here in the final minute of this first half. Norwood breaks free. Right up the middle of the field into Kentucky territory and all the way down to the 32-yard line. Boy, what a half he is having.
He's been able to sit and have a great vision of the field at this point, Rob. They're tossing it to him deep. Watch here. Little toss sweep. He's looking. Look back inside. There's the funnel. He hit it. He's able to use his athletic ability, cut back, and use his speed, get upfield. Now you can watch and guarantee you're going to see Mississippi State take a shot or two at the end zone. Now with the ball about 32 yards from the goal line, they've still got 25 seconds left, and I can bet you that they're going to go for it. They still have one more timeout, so if nothing else, you're going to see them be able to take the ball down the field and work for it, at least a field goal to try to go in with momentum on their side and up 17-16.
Well, you mentioned the momentum a moment ago, Bill. I tell you, it has shifted around here pretty quickly here in the latter stages of this second quarter.
The 11th and 12th man, it depends on if you call the sidelines the 11th man and momentum the 12th, or if you're going to call the momentum the 11th man and the sidelines the 12th. But I tell you what, the big momentum is one of those things that it goes back and forth in a game, and sometimes you never know. But again, it has to do with those big plays and what's going to happen at any given time. Sometimes you just don't know, and that's why I just keep touching base with you got to take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves, because there's not that many of them in a ball game.
And as you saw coming up at the half, we'll have the anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield halftime show. Mitch Barnhart, Kentucky's new athletics director, will also be joining us in the booth here at halftime. And we'll get his thoughts on this first half and what he has in store for the Wildcat athletic program in the days ahead. 1st and 10 though for the Bulldogs as they've got it at the Wildcat 32. Fred Reed into the backfield. And he's knocked down at the 30-yard line as he attempts to sweep the right side. Clock stops with 17 seconds left to go in the half. Dion Holtz over there to make the tackle, and Holtz now getting up a little slowly. Bulldogs use a timeout. We still have 17 seconds left to go as Holtz comes off the field over at the far sideline. So it's at the 30-yard line. Mississippi State will have it 2nd down and 8 yards to go. And the Bulldogs right here with a chance to retake the lead as Kentucky has moved in front by a score of 16-14, Bill. Second down and 8 yards to go. Fant, first time he's thrown on this drive, and he throws incomplete over the far side of the field. Brindle was over there, but the pass overthrown, and it falls incomplete. And it will bring up 3rd down and 8 yards to go.
Well, that's the next best thing you can see right there is Fant was able to throw the ball out of bounds to stop the clock. You've got to do something along those lines to be able to give your field goal unit a chance to get in and set up.
12 seconds left. Here's the field goal attempt now by Brent Smith, and we spotted down at the 37-yard line, a 47-yard attempt. It's long enough and it's good. Mississippi State comes down the field in the final minute and 19 seconds of this first half and retakes the lead, and the half is not quite over yet. We still have 7 seconds on the clock. Brent Smith puts it through the uprights.
Big play by that young man, and able to keep his head down and kick and follow through. Long kick. It is not that easy to kick those rascals, I'll tell you that. And right now, Kentucky is where they didn't want to be, in a dead-gum dog fight, in the dog pound, if you will, in the backyard of the Dogs, and it's 17-16. And again, Mississippi State now, Rob, takes with them a lead at home into the locker room, and they come out the second half and start with the ball.
And you can see the concern on the face of Guy Morris looking on from the far sidelines, and
just the frustration is all over him. And on there you see Jackie Sherrill. He's got to be tickled to death. He's survived. He's up 1 point. They've had turnovers in the first half, and they've been able to still sit here and be up 17-16 going to the half. Mississippi State will kick off, and more than likely this will be the final play of the first half. End over end kick. Going to drive Abney back to about the 7-yard line. See what he can do with this one. Not much running room. Over the 30-yard line to the 32, and Gabe Wallace comes up to make the tackle for Mississippi State. With that play, time expires here in the second quarter. So that's the end of the first half here at Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi, with Mississippi State holding a 1-point lead, 17-16 over the Kentucky Wildcats. Coach Guy Morris making his way now to the Wildcat locker room, and I think Drew Diener right now is going to be able to get a word with him. Drew, can we get on to you?
Thank you, Rob. Wait a second here while Dick Gabriel gets done with the radio interview as Kentucky trails it by 1 at halftime to Mississippi State. Coach, a little frustrated with the effort in that first half. You seemed like he played well enough to be up in that half.
Well, we're very fortunate. They're generous to us in the first half. You know, we're just arm tackling, not running to the ball. We're not knocking anybody off the football. We got to come out and play a physical second half.
So Shane Boyd for one series in that first half, was that because just to get him in the game, or was you a little frustrated with Jarrett's play?
We just try to give Jarrett a little bit of a break, let him see some things from the sideline, see if Shane could give us a little spark.
Thank you, Coach. That's Coach Guy Morris as Kentucky trails at 17-16 at halftime. They've had a lead in every second half this season. They'll have to rally to do it in the second half in this one. 17-16 your halftime score. This is the University of Kentucky Television Network.
Wildcat football is brought to you by Ashland, the Who in How Things Work. By Alltel, now offering solutions right here in Kentucky. By Southern Belle Dairy, around here it's a tradition. By Speedway. By your local Chevy dealer. By LG&E, customers first, energy that lasts. And by Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Decide to be healthy.
(17-16) Mississippi State. And Clint Root puts his foot into the ball here to begin the second half, as the Bulldogs get it first here to begin the third quarter. Fred Reed hauled down just across the 20-yard line by Rob Willie. And the Bulldogs will get it first down and 10 yards to go as they'll take it at their own 23-yard line. Our first half statistics. And Kentucky dominating in the time of possession early in the game, but look at the total yards. Mississippi State coming away, Bill, with 294.
That is a big second quarter, given that Mississippi State did not have much in the first quarter. They only had, I believe, 53 yards total at that point, so they put up 240 yards just in that second quarter.
First play of the third quarter. Fred Reed gets the handoff and doesn't get any yardage. In fact, he may have lost a yard. Jeremy Caudle quickly coming in there to plug up the hole. Looking to mark it right at the 23-yard line. It'll be second down and 10 yards to go.
And exactly what Kentucky's defense wants right now and needs to see is that defensive line to grab control of the offensive line of Mississippi State, at least control it, get upfield if they can to force the running backs out of their intended running lanes and put pressure on Fant when he tries to throw the ball.
Fant. Dwindle up across the 30-yard line to the 31. It'll be a couple of yards shy of a first down. And it will bring up 3rd and 2. Derek Tatum on the tackle for the Wildcats. Just underway, third quarter of play here at Scott Field, with Mississippi State leading Kentucky 17-16. Wildcats jumped out in front early in the game, 10-0, then fell behind 14-10, took a 16-14 lead with a minute 19 to go in the first half. But Mississippi State with a field goal to reclaim the lead before halftime, and that's where we stand right now. Reed trying to pick up the first down, and he does not do it. Hard hit leveled right at the 30-yard line. Quintus Cumbie coming in there, and you could hear the pads hit all the way up here.
What a good job there of Cumbie coming up and being able to sit and make the play. I think it was Johnson that got upfield, little toss sweep, got upfield, kept his outside shoulder free and turned the play back inside. There was a nice running lane there. Cumbie came in from his safety position and was able to put a good, hard form tackle below and stop him right dead in his tracks short of the first down.
Punt by Robert Wallace. Abney sprinting to the near side of the field. Gets some room, cuts it back. Comes up to the 50 and breaks free down the sidelines. And he will take it all the way. Touchdown.
That was Abney.
Derek Abney has done it again.
And the first for the touchdown.
He returns his 4th kick this season for a touchdown. This one a punt. It's the 3rd punt that he's returned for a touchdown. And it's the 4th of his career, and he breaks the UK record of 3 punt returns, held jointly by Dickie Lyons and Larry Carter.
And he was just very patient. This special teams has been like this all year. These guys love what they're doing. He was patient. He was waiting. He set up some blocks with a little dip in and out, just enough to make the defensive coverage team of Mississippi State hesitate enough to help set up the block. Got in, shook a tackle or two, and was able to use his speed when he bounced back out to get into the end zone.
Taylor Begley with the extra point, and the Wildcats move back in front. 12 minutes, 37 seconds left to go in the third quarter, and Kentucky has regained the lead, 23-17. We'll continue in a moment here on the University of Kentucky television. A moment ago, Bill. He's now returned 3 punt returns for touchdowns this season. And that breaks the UK single season record of 2 punt return TDs held by Calvin Bird in 59, Dickie Lyons in 67, Larry Carter back in 1978. And he ties the SEC single season record of 3 punt returns for touchdowns, jointly held by 5 other players. And he now has 5 kick returns in his career for touchdowns. 4 punts, 1 kickoff.
What else can you say? I said earlier, I kind of touched on it. I said, and back to return the punt, Mr. Excitement. I mean, how much more exciting does it get when you have, every time that there's a potential for a big play on your special teams. And you take a young man that, with the character that he has, and it just adds to the story, in my opinion. He's able to sit there and make things happen. And I tell you, when you're able to be that successful, Rob, as far as special teams, you definitely make the other team, and in this case, Mississippi State, have to be concerned every time. Don't be surprised to start seeing them try to punt the ball away from him, kick the ball away on kickoff returns. And as Kentucky continues in this season, other teams are going to have to spend more time on their special teams coverages.
Fred Reed taking the kick of Clint Ruth over the 20 up to the 21, where Raymond Fontaine hauled him down from behind. And more on Derek Abney, too. He's now accounted for 150 total yards here today. He's rushed for a yard, a punt return of 70, 33 yards in receptions, and we've got him in 46 yards on kick returns.
It's a good day at the office in anybody's book. Just again, you could see right there on the return how Abney was able to be patient, in and out, helped set up his blockers, and was able to use his speed to get to the end zone.
Dante Walker starting out this series in the Mississippi State backfield, and he gets next to nothing as John Robinson comes in to make the tackle. Around the league, some of the scores that we have, this is a final. Auburn has defeated Mississippi in Oxford 31-24. Arkansas playing outside the league today and leading in the fourth quarter 16-0 over Troy State. Alabama shutting out Vanderbilt. Fourth quarter 23-0 tie. Tennessee at South Carolina today. This is a big game. In the second quarter, the Vols leading South Carolina 6-3. As you look at Kevin Fant, we've got a timeout on the field. The Bulldogs will go back on offense. They had it to start this third quarter, but Derek Abney's punt return has put Kentucky back in front 23-17. And the injured Mississippi State player down on the field, I think, is Justin Griffith. He's still over at the far side, and he's made it to his feet, but has not made his way here to the near sidelines of the Mississippi State bench.
We don't like to see that anytime. I tell you, again, though, always a positive sign is when a young man can come off the field. I say that kind of guardedly, Rob, because you don't ever want to be carted off as a player. You want to gut up and get off, but he's got something there that's stinging and hurting him a little bit. I don't know if he got his ankle there or if what he twisted, but you can see he's kind of got just a little bit of a limp there, almost maybe even up in the hip. Hard to speculate right now, but hopefully he'll be fine.
So Griffith comes off. Mississippi State takes over. And they have second down and 10 yards to go here with the ball now. It's spotted just across their own 20-yard line. Kentucky moving back in front on the punt return by Derek Abney, 23-17. Pass is taken in by the tight end. This is Donald Lee. Finds the going rough, and they blew the whistle before he dropped the football. Leonard Barres coming up there to make the initial contact on him. He's going to be up to the 24-yard line, and it's going to be third down and about 6-7 yards to go for Mississippi State.
Oh, Mississippi State just trying to take advantage of a little bit here and there of the secondary. Again, they dropped the ball that time to Lee, and Cumbie came up and put a pretty good wallop on him. I tell you, Kentucky got away a little bit there because Cumbie didn't wrap him up, but the speed and pursuit of the rest of the defense was able to wrap him up and rip that ball out of him.
They mark it to the 25. It is third down and 6 for the Bulldogs. Dante Walker stopped at the 27-yard line. Jeremy Caudle up to make the tackle, and you hear some boos starting to come out now from this Mississippi State crowd. As Kentucky has held defensively, it'll be fourth down and about 3 yards to go, and the Bulldogs will have to give it up.
And what a great sign for Kentucky fans. The defense right now is doing what we kind of talked about we felt like they needed to do, was grab control of the line of scrimmage, and they have done that these first two series. I'll be anxious to see where they punt this ball. If they're just going to go ahead and kick it to Abney, or are they going to try to kick it away?
Low kick. Abney's got it and hit immediately and bounces free. Comes right back up the middle of the field just across the 50-yard line, and a penalty marker goes down. And I don't know there, Bill, if they gave him enough room. Tommy Farrell, along with Robert Spivey on the tackle.
You know, it's in there in that, is it the halo? Is it holding? Is it an illegal block?
Yeah, I think they're going to say Mississippi State here interfered.
They're going to take the ball where he returned it to, I'm sure, then.
Violation of the 2-yard buffer zone around the receiver. Trying to kicking team. That penalty is refused. First down.
Wildcats will take the return, and they'll get the ball at the 50-yard line. We'll be back in a moment here on the University of Kentucky television, along with Bill Ransdell here at Scott Field in Starkville. Kentucky has it 1st and 10 from the 50, and here goes Artus Pinner, running over to the far side, over the 40, and down close to the 32-yard line. Corey Banks knocked him off his feet. Big run by Artus Pinner.
Well, they got that. It's called the halo rule, and what it is you have 2 yards, and 2 yards is 6 feet. And I tell you, it's a questionable call sometimes. It's a judgment call by the referee. They want to make sure that they don't let guys just unload on kick returners when they're concentrating on the football and somebody gets their head taken off.
And we've got another penalty, Bill, which was dropped back at the line of scrimmage. Well, now they say it's an inadvertent flag.
We're 7 men on the line.
Kentucky at this point, Rob, I tell you, you can start to hear those boos coming out. I don't know that I'd want to be these refs here, but the Big Mo, the 12th man, is back on the blue and white side right now.
It's 1st and 10 from the 32. Here goes Pinner again. He's got it down just inside the 30, and another penalty marker goes down as Ronald Fields makes the tackle for Mississippi State.
It's in that holding area usually.
This flag dropped just behind the line of scrimmage, and it will go against the Wildcats.
Holding by the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
I think it was Sylvester Miller. I'm not really sure, but I think Kelly, watch the left side here. You see Kelly right there, 55, getting penetration, and Miller just grabs him and brings him down. It's kind of hard. Again, that's at the point of attack, and again, the refs are going to be watching that even closer than they usually do as far as if there's turf or their jersey getting pulled.
Penalty moves it back to the 42, and Lorenzen throwing deep for Cook. He's got it down to the 2-yard line. Tommy Cook on the receiving end from Jared Lorenzen. Corey Banks was down there on the coverage. But here's Lorenzen hooking up with Cook on a 40-yard pass play.
Well, play action. Cook just does a streak, a go right down the middle, is able to get behind Banks. What a great throw by Lorenzen. He's able to sit here, puts just enough touch on it to drop it over the top. Cook keeps his eyes on the ball and brings it in.
Pinner trying to pull his way down to the goal line. Gets probably a yard out of it. Tommy Kelly coming in to make the stop for Mississippi State. We played a little over 5 minutes here in this third quarter. Kentucky down 1 at halftime has already retaken the lead on a 70-yard punt return by Derek Abney to make it 23-17. And now the Wildcats are right back knocking on the door again at the 1-yard line. Lorenzen with 140 yards through the air and a touchdown. That was the Wildcats' first score. The touchdown pass to Aaron Boone. Out of the eye now. 2nd down and goal at the 1. Pinner. Still short. It'll be 3rd down and goal coming up. He's very close, but just short of the goal line.
You know, it's good to see that the catch that Cook just made, Rob, was a wonderful catch and great fundamentals as far as the ball over the top, looking the ball all the way in. But the play, 2 plays before that, the big run by Pinner, he's downfield 15 yards blocking a guy on his back.
Penalty here now with the noisemakers, the cowbells, which are so famous here at Mississippi State, and you can see the reaction from Jackie Sherrill. Now the crowd's really going to let them hear it.
I'm surprised that they call it now. I noticed throughout the first half, after they said it to start the game, there really wasn't much done anymore.
The thing about it here is half the distance of the goal can't hurt you very much.
No, it's a good place to make your point if you're going to, without hurting the team too bad.
Now we're going to hear bell, boos, and cowbells. 3rd down and goal. Pinner. And with his strength, he goes into the end zone. Artus Pinner. And look at Antonio Hall doing a little pounding on the chest. Wildcats.
What a run by Penner. I mean, there was nothing there.
2 touchdowns, Bill, here in about the first 6.5 minutes of this third quarter, and Kentucky has now jumped out to a 29-17
Look,
lead.
met at the line of scrimmage right there by Kelly. Continues driving his legs. There's 3-4 guys on him. You got Campe continuing to push himself and run up in there. Just a great job there of good running, good hard running by Penner, knowing where the goal line is and not stopping his leg drive until he got across the line.
And the conversion by Taylor Begley, which now makes it a 13-point game as Kentucky goes in front 30-17 with 8 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in this third quarter. We will come back to Starkville in just a moment. So far, the second half has been all Wildcats. You're watching the University of Kentucky Television Network. Starkville, Mississippi. Rob Bromley alongside Bill Ransdell here in the booth. Drew Diener is down on the field. And the Kentucky Wildcats with a couple of touchdowns early here in the third quarter, and they lead Mississippi State now 30-17. Let's go down to the field to Drew.
Oh, Rob, that last series you saw Justin Griffith go out with an ankle injury. He re-aggravated that right ankle that he injured previously this season. He's going to try to give it a go. They wrapped him up really tight with tape on the sideline. He's been hobbling around back here. He really wants to get back in this game. He came into the game as their leading rusher, so he's going to try to give it a go. How long he'll be able to go, we'll have to find out. But he doesn't look like he's anywhere near 100%. Back to you.
Thank you, Drew. Clint Ruth now getting set to kick off again. This is the third time here in this period that he has kicked off. Kicking off to start the third quarter, and then, of course, after 2 Wildcat touchdowns. Far side of the field, that's Fred Reed. Over the 25 to 26-yard line. And he's brought down by Tayo Egbuki.
I'm glad you did that.
That's a tough one. Young man out of Houston, Texas.
Fine young man.
Scoring drive, 5 plays, 50 yards, 1 minute, 52 seconds, and Artus Penner. If you're wondering how many yards Artus has now on the afternoon, I believe we've got him at 74 yards.
Tough yards today. Tough yards. A lot of carries and tough yards in there.
He would still need another, what would it be, 38, 34 yards to get that 1,000 on the season. Here's Fant to throw. Incomplete. Here at the near side of the field, it was intended for Justin Jenkins. We can also tell you that Kentucky has now broken the team's single-season record for punt return yardage. The old record was 478 punt return yards during the 1949 season. So with the records that Derek Abney has set here with his 70-yard punt return in this third quarter, a team's single-season record has also fallen. Punt return yardage. Nowhere to go. Dante Walker got the handoff. Vincent Burns, along with Dwayne Robertson, coming in from his left tackle spot. And the fans here in Starkville starting to get a little impatient as their team led by a point at halftime and is now fallen behind 30-17.
And you watch the script. Look at Robertson. He splits them. He's right there waiting, and then from the outside comes Burns. And again, you couldn't script this any better if you're a Kentucky fan. The defense is taking control, especially this defensive line. So goes this defense at this point. So goes this team of Kentucky.
And the pass falls incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down. The punting unit will have to come on for Mississippi State. And so far, it has been an absolutely disastrous third quarter for the Bulldogs.
Again, there's Robertson. He jumps right through there. He's turning it up a notch. I don't know if we're seeing some tiring by the offensive line of Mississippi State or what, but Robertson, these last 2 plays, has jumped through there before Mississippi State can even put a glove on him to be able to force a negative play and or Fant throwing the ball away.
Here's the punt by Wallace, and Abney has to run up on this one. Grants it at midfield, finds room right up the middle of the field, and here he goes again. And they can't catch him. Derek Abney is has done it again. I think that'll go as a 50-yarder. Well, Bill, we thought we might get one here this afternoon, but how about two?
Unbelievable. I tell you
He has now returned 7 kicks, 4 touchdowns in his Kentucky career.
Unbelievable. Watch him. He's just able to concentrate, catch the ball, loses his footing. Again, he puts a little dead leg out there, I call it. He's able to freeze the defensive guy just long enough to help set up the block, and then he's able to kick it into gear and get upfield and outrun everybody to the pylon. Just an unbelievable little receiver, athlete, returner, and again, I mean, is there any other better name than Mr. Excitement right there? So.
Taylor Begley with a conversion. And with 7:15 to go, Kentucky has now extended its lead to 37-17. I think I said 7 kicks. It would be 6 kicks total in his career for touchdowns. And we'll get another look at it right here. His second punt return for a score here today, both coming in the third quarter.
And you can see where he froze the Mississippi State defender right there. He gave a little dead leg, a little fake out to the right, and froze him just long enough. Watch again. Watch right here. Watch to the right of your screen. Right. Well, he's already made his cut through there then. But he was able to freeze him just enough. Ball was one of them there. When you put that little fake and it makes them hesitate just enough that they go flat-footed, and Abney has got that initial burst, as most receivers do, off the line of scrimmage to be able to jump through that hole and get to the pylon.
So we can now update everything by 1. He has 133 yards in punt returns today, 2 for touchdowns, and now making 5 punt returns in his career for touchdowns, 4 this season, and a total of 6 kicks returned, 4 touchdowns in his Kentucky career.
He's having a great time. You can see him there on the sideline as all of his teammates are over there slapping him. Look at him. He's just giddy. He doesn't know what else to say or do. And he's a good kid. You never see him very often without a big smile on his face anyway. What just a great thing to have happen. And I tell you, you gotta give a lot of credit to Kentucky and Coach Mark Nelson, the special teams coach for Kentucky, Rob. A lot of times special team, it's the third facet of the game after offense and defense. And a lot of times you look at old school coaches, they preach it. Virginia Tech and Frank Beamer, they win games off of it. And Kentucky's been able to do that this year effectively and really put themselves in some good positions.
End over end kick, which was taken in by Darnell Jones, and they blow it red at the 19-yard line. Let's go down on the field to Drew Diener.
Well, Rob, with Election Day coming up on Tuesday, I think Derek Abney could run for anything he wanted down here. Everybody is all smiles, slapping him on the back. After that first return, he held up his fingers, said he held up 2 fingers, said, I've got another one in me. He just held up 3, said he's got 1 more to go if he gets a chance.
Thank you, Drew. Mississippi State takes over, and you know, it must have been that Justin Griffith called a fair catch on the kickoff, and now we've got a sack as Dwayne Robertson comes in. And you talk about a game going downhill for a team. It has gone nothing but straight downhill for Mississippi State here in this third quarter, and it just keeps getting worse.
Bottom right, Robertson, he grabs his guy, he pulls him to the side, and is able to use his lateral movement that as a big man. Watch again. Watch to your left of your screen. He's able to sit, uses his speed and his power just to overpower the Mississippi State guy, and then uses quickness to get back to Fant before he can do anything.
This is second down and 17. They give it to Fred Reed back up the middle, and he comes close to getting back to the original line of scrimmage. Otis Grigsby on the tackle for the Wildcats.
Frustration is setting in a little bit for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Robertson that time was there and was able to turn the runner back inside, and as he went past, one of the Bulldog linemen jumped to block him on the ground. I think he's starting to have his effect with frustrating that offensive line there for Mississippi State.
Bulldogs just 5 of 11 on third down. The completion to Reed, and if he can get loose, he can have some room. Can't quite get the first down. Travis Atwell came in to finish him off after he broke through the initial contact. Going to be shy of a first down by a couple of yards at the 28. And
The crowd urging Mississippi State to just go ahead and go for it. Down by 20 points here with 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
And what Kentucky needs now is Robertson has stepped it up a notch and is really causing a lot of chaos on the Mississippi State line. Now you need Caudle and Burns and Grigsby and Lane and Riley and Johnson and those guys to step in too. And with the opportunity that Robertson is getting doubled, there's more opportunity there for the rest of the defensive line.
Here they go on fourth down, and they pick up the 1st and 10. Fred Reed gets the necessary yardage over the 30-yard line. They'll mark it just across the 31. Leonard Barres on the tackle for the Wildcats. So Mississippi State able to hang on to the football on this series, get a first down, and that is really the only thing that has happened good for Jackie Sherrill's team here in this third quarter.
And being an old school coach, though, Jackie Sherrill knows that it only takes one, and that first down could be what it takes to get his guys, refocused again here in the third quarter. There's still almost 5 minutes left in this third quarter for Mississippi State.
Ben. And his receiver fell down, the pass falling incomplete. Terrell Grindle was the intended receiver. He slipped and fell at about the Wildcat 45-yard line.
Well, they did a little play action, and they were going on top after getting that fourth down conversion. They wanted to go up top, kind of like a turnover. You want to go for the throat as quickly as you can a lot of times. That's what they attempted to do there. And again, Grindle lost his footing. A little bit of contact upfield, but a lot of it Grindle self-imposed on himself.
With that incompletion, Bill, Fent is now just 6 of 20 on the day.
Playoffs sometimes are very tough, and they don't show up except in the completion percentage there.
Reed finds the going tough as you see a penalty marker goes down on the field. Sweet Pea Burns makes the tackle for the Wildcat defense. Let's see what the marker is. The initial indication is offside against the Wildcats.
Defense was in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So it'll be second down now and 5 yards to go for Mississippi State as the penalty moves it up to the 36. 37-17. Kentucky, after trailing by a point at halftime, the Wildcats now lead by 20. 3 touchdowns here in this third quarter, 2 of them on punt returns by Derek Abney. And they sweep the right side and find the going rough. Not much running room at all for Fred Reed. Deion Bolts there to wrap him up.
Good job by Mike Williams, number 1. He's strong safety for Kentucky. He's able to get upfield on that play, Rob. Turn it back inside for the pursuit of Kentucky's defense to get in there.
Line of scrimmage is the 39. It is third down, 2 yards to go. Third down and 2. As we get into the latter stages of this third quarter here in Starkville. Caught by Jenkins. It's a Mississippi State first down up at the 46. 1st and 10 for the Dogs. Antoine Huffman right there with him to bring him down, but it is 1st and 10 for Mississippi State as they move it now to the 47. Mississippi State today with 12 first downs, the Wildcats with just 10. And Kentucky picked up many of those back in the first quarter. Yeah, when you got a guy like Derek Abney, though, you don't need your offense to pick up too many first downs.
No, you don't.
You will put points on the board, and that's what Kentucky has done here in this third quarter. Now they get to the freshman, Jarius Norwood, and he again finds running room, much like he did in the first half. Down into Kentucky territory, down to the 42. Travis Atwell was the man who finally got him.
For a young guy, a freshman, I know we're 8 deep. This is the 8th game of the year, and by then you're pretty much considered a sophomore, but he is really showing some good vision of the field, and that play was designed to be a power off the right side, and he saw the cutback lane all the way back to the left side over the left tackle, was able to cut it back and get upfield to get the first down.
On 1st and 10, Fed over the middle, and it's dropped. In and out of the hands of T. Milans. The freshman out of Starkville, Mississippi, T. Millens, incomplete. And that would have been touchdown. That would have been 6. No question about it.
That's one of those in film tomorrow. If you're Millens, you do not want to be sitting there watching. If you can get around it, you want to all of a sudden have to go to the restroom. But I tell you, Kentucky was lucky there. Mullins was able to get inside Atwell, it looked like, from the safety, and Atwell went for the ball and just barely missed it, which is probably what took the concentration of Mullins' eyes off the ball.
And Dante Walker can't get anything on 2nd and 10, and he hears the boos. Justin Haydock in there on the tackle. We talked in the first half about how Walker came in overweight at the start of fall practice. And it's really been a disappointing thing, because this is a fella, Bill, who has racked up a bunch of yards in his Mississippi State career. He scored 22 touchdowns. 3rd down conversions, the Bulldogs, 6 of 13. Under pressure, Fant dumps it off here to the near side of the field.
Good play by Fant. Got forced out. Caudle came free up the middle, looking for somebody else on the defensive line of Kentucky to step up. Caudle came through, flushed him. Again, he's had a bad ankle. Good job there of the defense in flushing him, and then Fant looking, buying as much time as he could, Rob. Not seeing anybody, just threw the ball away.
Punting situation for Mississippi State here on 4th and 10. And they're at the Wildcat 42-yard line, so they will try to back it up here. Here's the punt by Wallace. Fair catch by Abner. And that is one way you can stop him, if you can get him to call a fair catch, and he does down at the 11-yard line. Travel for today's game was provided by Gold Shield Transportation. Call 1-800-205-7330 for any and all occasions. Look for them on the web at www.gstrans.com.
I'm looking forward to stretching out on the way home today.
Yeah, we traveled in style down here to Starkville, Mississippi. I'll tell you that.
I'm telling you, it is nice.
1st and 10 for the Cats from the 11. Pinner getting the pitch. And he comes up to the 15-yard line. It's about 4 yards. T.J. Mulwiney, the linebacker, comes in to make the tackle. What a 3rd quarter it has been for Kentucky. 3 touchdowns.
15-yard line.
2 of them on punt returns by Derek Abney, and Kentucky has shot out to a 20-point lead. 2nd down now, 5 yards to go. Cats again out of the I formation. Pinner. And he squeezes his way through a hole, comes up close to the 20, but it's still going to be shy of a 1st down by about a yard.
I'll tell you what, Rob, I just continue week in and week out to be impressed with Pinner's ability to get extra yards, especially after contact. Not to mention he's able to squeeze through some of the smallest of holes, and he knows where the stakes are. He got cut shy just a little bit there, but watch Kentucky continue to give him this ball, and him probably to be able to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark, because they definitely want to control the clock and the line of scrimmage again and to use as much time as they can to salt this game away.
3rd and 1, Pinner with a pitch. Now tried to leap over his own block, which was being thrown by Drobny, and Darren Williams, the free safety, was able to get in there and get him down, and Kentucky's going to have to give it up.
And that's not when you want a 3 and out. You've got the momentum. Defense turns the ball over again. You want to give it. You got a guy to use if you're going to, as far as salting it away. And Pinner, he's a great runner, but you got to be able to get the block at the point of attack taken care of, and Kentucky couldn't do it right there with the speed of Mississippi State's defensive secondary. Was able to come up and make a big play short of the 1st down.
And with that play, time will expire here in the 3rd quarter. What a 3rd quarter for the Wildcats, as they will go into the 4th quarter leading by 20. We'll be back in a moment. Kentucky 37, Mississippi State 17. You're watching the University of Kentucky Television Network. We're heading to the 4th quarter here in Starkville, Mississippi. Scott Field, Rob Bromley alongside Bill Ransdell. Drew Diener's down on the field. And Kentucky with what would seem to be a comfortable 20-point lead, Bill, as we go to the 4th quarter.
Well, and I think the thing right now you got to think about is, you know, it's been a game of streaks. Kentucky had 10 in the 1st quarter. Mississippi State had 17 in the 2nd. And Kentucky's put on another. They ended up with 7 more right there in the 2nd quarter, and they put up 20 now in the 3rd. So Kentucky, again, though, I think, Rob, a lot of times they seem to go with the defense. And if that defense is able to get out there and really mix it up, and as a former player, I can tell you, it was always great to see. You want them to get in there and crank it up and get in people's face, and it just kind of, it's just something that kind of runs through the rest of the team, and they've done that. The defense can just come out the second half. They've controlled the offensive line of Mississippi State. They've been able to get pressure in the backfield on Fant. They've been able to get up in the running lanes as well as the throwing lanes, and we've seen the third phase, again, Kentucky's Mr. Excitement, Abney, being able to get some returns, but also you've got that Kentucky was able to take a ball and drive it down as far as offense.
Well, for the latest on UK Athletics, get all the news and information, just go to ukathletics.com. We start the fourth quarter. It is fourth down for the Cats. Glenn Pakalak to punt it away. This is Corey Banks coming up on the ball as it hits at the 41 and goes out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Penalty marker dropped back of the line of scrimmage. And let's wait and see what this is now. Hold everything.
Kentucky's going backwards. Doesn't look good.
Apparently it will come back, as we thought we were going to get the call, but we don't.
Didn't see it.
Before the snap, false start by the offense, movement. There was no play. Repeat fourth down after a 5-yard penalty.
Big break for Mississippi State there.
Well, once again, Pakalak will have to kick it away, and now he'll be standing back at about his own 2-yard line. Corey Banks, who's been a good player for the Wildcats, coming out of the junior college ranks. Jackie Sherrill has now donned the jacket down on the field, as no question, as the afternoon has moved along here, the temperature has dropped. And now whistles all over the field as the Wildcats hurriedly try to line up.
They got plenty of time on the field.
Yeah, they still had 10 seconds on the play clock.
Here come the noisemakers again.
Respot the ball down to the 14-yard line. And finally here, I think we're ready. As we get this fourth quarter into gear. Taking it away from Banks, and he's going to let it go. And look at that. After the penalty on Kentucky, Mississippi State is going to have to come away with the ball all the way back at its own 22-yard line. Now, there's a difference in some field position there.
Big play, and good job by Pakalak of kicking the ball away from the coverage.
54-yard punt, no return.
Big punt there, and Mississippi State, they really didn't have a chance to get to the ball there to catch it, to save any kind of yardage.
First down.
Derek Abney now also holds Bill the single-season record for punt return yardage. The old record, 420 yards, held by Andy Moles back in 1981.
He's just rewriting all those records as far as punt and kickoff returns for special teams. He beat a good one there.
Yeah, I can remember Andy running back one in Nashville as the Wildcats brought a losing streak to an end against the Commodores.
That'll be our next telecast.
Vanderbilt coming up.
1-25.
The week following the LSU game, we'll be back with you in 2 weeks as Kentucky takes on Vanderbilt at Commonwealth Stadium. And we will have it for you right here on November the 16th. Check your local listings for the time in your area. We'll have it on a delay basis as Kentucky hooks up with Vanderbilt. One of the oldest rivalries that the Cats have all the action from Commonwealth Stadium. They just announced here that the Ole Miss Rebels have lost, and we hear some cowbells when that word goes out. Ole Miss falling to Auburn this afternoon in Oxford. Vance fakes a handoff and unloads, and it's picked off. Kentucky with another turnover. Claude Segal got it, and he comes across midfield.
Well, you got a flag down back there in the secondary, and the question is going to be, is it defensive pass interference or offensive? Kentucky had 3 guys around the football. Usually if you got 3-1, it's not going to go in your favor, but we'll just have to see.
Ball goes against the Wildcats.
Defensive pass interference, 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, and automatic first down.
Mississippi State, Rob, got away with the one there. I mean, they come out, they try to run a play action. Fant throws it as hard as he can, slings it once. Cummings coming in, well, he doesn't see it, and he impeded the receiver's progress is what I guess they had to call there with 3 guys there. So Segal was playing the ball. What a nice job there of Segal playing it, but Mississippi State got away with one there.
Penalty will move the ball up now to the 37-yard line, and the penalty yardage, the Wildcats have been penalized more 9 times for 66 yards.
It'll make you pull your hair out of your coat.
Straight up the middle, and there goes the young back, Jarius Norwood. Good runner. Picks up about 8 yards or so. Led down by Ellery Moore along with Agboki. Going to be a couple of yards shy of a first down. It'll be 2nd down and 2 yards to go. We hit the 14-minute mark here in this 4th quarter. Kentucky 37, Mississippi State 17 after trailing by a point at halftime. The Wildcats going on top and really blowing this game open with 3 third-quarter touchdowns. Fant. Down he goes. Coming in to level the hit is Dwayne Robertson. Wow. And I guarantee you, Kevin Fant felt that one.
Oh, I feel 4 Fant up here. I tell you, Robertson, watch in the middle. All of a sudden, here he goes. He just slings this guy out of the way. I mean, just took Tucker, number 73, and threw him. And Tucker, now mind you, he's 6'4", guys, 319 pounds. You don't just take a guy like that and sling him to the side like a dish rag like Robertson did without having some strength and agility. What a great play there by Robertson.
3rd down now, and let's call it 11 yards to go. Fant to throw on 3rd and long, far side of the field, incomplete. Overthrows Justin Jenkins. And we got a penalty marker down, and I think we've got a holding call coming here.
You got it. I think if it was called on Robertson, it was a takedown. It was a WWF at the best. I tell you, it was right in the middle of the field.
4th down.
You know when the defensive lineman goes into the ground head first, and the first and only thing that's left above ground is their speed dangling about 6 foot, usually there's a lot of cloth being drugged down with you.
Another punting situation for Mississippi State, and Derek Abney here with another opportunity to add to his return yardage this afternoon. Now we got a timeout called on the field. Timeout called by Kentucky with 13 minutes and 1 second left to go. So a break in the action with the Wildcats leading Mississippi State 37-17. We'll continue here from Starkville in a moment. You're watching the University of Kentucky Television Network. All Wildcats here in the 2nd half. Thanks to a couple of electrifying punt returns by Derek Abney, a record-setting day for him. Kentucky with 3 third-quarter touchdowns, and the Wildcats with a 20-point lead here early in the 4th quarter. And Abney now with a chance to get some more, Bill Wright.
And I think at that break, Coach Mark Nelson, the special team coach, looked at each guy and said, let's get another one. Let's go get it and block it, or else set it up, and let's give him a chance to get a 3rd.
And they kick this one short. Abney comes up on it, hauls it in, but he's hit immediately and dropped at the 36-yard line.
Never really had a shot on punt returns and kick returns. You set up your wedges and your returns at a certain yard marker. By the punt being short, it enabled Mississippi State to have good coverage because Kentucky's defensive return team was set up a little deeper than where the ball ended up being.
Glenn Thompson was the first man in there to hit him. And the Wildcats take over 1st and 10 for the football just shy of their own 37 out of the I formation. Here goes Pinner. Can't make it back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there. And we've got another penalty marker down on the field. Let's check in down on the field with Drew Diener.
Well, guys, to give you an idea of what some families have to go through to get their to see their sons play at the game. Chase Harp's father, Sam Harp, is a coach at Danville High School. Last night, he got done coaching at 2 in the morning, left his house at 4 in the morning to catch a flight out of Lexington so he could be here in time for the game. And luckily for me, he also got a rental car so he could give me a ride over. Apparently, you guys forgot to send the limo for me, so I got to send a shout-out to the Harps thanking me for getting over to the game just in time.
All right, well, I'm glad the Harps made it.
We're talking about riding in luxury and Drew's thumbing it. Oh, Lordy.
And meanwhile, we iron out another penalty.
Against the offense, 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Crackback block was called there, I believe. And the penalty is big, 15 yards. Jolie Dunn.
No headset. No game plan. It's all in his head. So they say. He looks, he sees down in distance, field position, makes a start.
Well, it is first down now and a mile to go for the Wildcats. First down and 25 yards to go as they moved it back now to the 22. And that time they get big pressure and the pass falls incomplete. Aaron Boone was over there. Mario Hagan was coming, and Lorenzen just didn't have an instant there to react.
Well, with Kentucky, with their offensive set there, Rob, they didn't have anybody to pick coming up the middle there up. Hagan was untouched. They covered what they call the old Bear Eagle. They covered both guards and the nose guard, and Hagan came right between them, and there wasn't anybody in there fullback-wise in the backfield to be able to pick up the blitzer.
Second down now and 25 yards to go. Still a long ways to go in this fourth quarter. Lorenzen. And tipped and then caught. Was he inbounds? No, they rule it incomplete. No?
No. Yes, no. I think they said no finally.
Derek Abney had it tipped right there, and well, they said he wasn't quite inbounds.
Well, I thought he made a great catch after letting the ball get through. Watch his left leg. His foot's inbounds. He's got the ball, and the back judge said he didn't. The one line judge said he did. He ended up with one guy overruling. I don't know if that goes down to years in the league or how does that happen there. Who gets to make that call?
Third down at 25 yards to go. And Lorenzen throwing it all out on this one. Down the far sidelines and broken up. Kevin Dockery was back there to break it up. It was intended for Glenn Holt. And it will bring up fourth down to the Wildcats. We'll have to kick it away. So Glenn Pakalak comes onto the field, and he'll stand back inside his own 10-yard line. And Corey Banks dropping back around his own 35.
Good adjustment that last couple of plays by Kentucky's offensive line. The first one Hagan got through. Kentucky slid their protection that time and were able to use the big on big, the offensive lineman up front, to block all the blitzers inside there from Mississippi State.
Banks from about his own 26, and he's driven out of bounds here at the near sideline. Mississippi State will go to work at its own 40 with 11:50 left to go in the ballgame. Our Kentucky Utilities power play of the game, with Kentucky leading 37-17 here in the fourth quarter.
Touchdown.
And for our Kentucky Utilities power play of the game, Bill Ransdell, this is the score as they hand it off here to Tommy Cook, and he takes it around for the touchdown.
And again, it's just a little reverse. They did it off the fake, off the isolation. Cook sees the pylon, puts his head down, drives, and gets the ball across the plane for the score.
Our Kentucky Utilities power play of the game. And back to the action as Darius Norwood, the young back, comes up with a big gain here and is driven out of bounds by Irvin Flowers at the near side of the field. Big gain for Darius Norwood. Give him 29 yards all the way down to the 30-yard line. And he has now rushed for 121 on the day. That puts him over the 100-yard mark. What a day
and if I'm not
for Norwood.
If I'm not mistaken, he didn't play the first quarter, and I don't recall him playing in the third quarter. And if he did, it was very little.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs from their 30. And they keep it right on the ground in Norwood. Inside the 20 penalty markers, get on all over the field. Quentis Cumby driving him out of bounds, along with Dwayne Robertson. And I think we're going to get a face mask here.
It looked like Norwood threw the stiff arm against Cumby, and I wonder if they're going to call the face mask on him.
Incidental face mask, against the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Well, they call it against Kentucky.
I wonder if they were going to call the stiff arm. You know, they won't let him. Watch right here. Johnson turns him inside. Look, there's a face mask right there in Cumby's face. We must have missed part of it right there that Cumby must have had him too. I wondered if they were going to call that. But obviously they did not.
Well, they've got it down now, Bill, at the 14-yard line where it's 1st and 10 right there. Still a lot of time left, 11:36. Mississippi State facing a 20-point deficit. Fred Reed with a good roll. And he tracks it down across the 8-yard line. Irvin Flowers comes up to make the stop for the Wildcat defense. But Mississippi State knocking on the door. They need 3 scores, and with that amount of time on the clock, this game is still a long ways from being over.
Kentucky defense does not need to take too deep a breath right now. They need to regroup and get some pressure again and get back control of this line of scrimmage.
Not much room that time. The white-shirted Wildcats are all over Fred Reed. John Robinson leading the charge, and it'll bring up a big 3rd down play. Van just has not had much success throwing here this afternoon, Bill. They've tried to keep it on the ground. Norwood has come up big for them. What do they do right here now? 3rd down and 5 from the 9-yard line. They got to get it down inside the 5. Quick pass, incomplete. Penalty marker goes down, and they'll call it on Derek Tatum. It was intended for Grindle. Terrell Grindle, the intended receiver, and
there wasn't a chance on him getting away with that. When you got 3 flags coming at him, every referee around him was throwing the flag on it. And again, they just came back to the little slant.
Pass interference on the defense. Ball was be placed on the 2-yard line because the foul was inside the 2. 1st down.
That is now the 12th penalty called on Kentucky in this game, Bill. 88 yards. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs down at the Kentucky 2.
They're toe-to-toe, the linemen down there. They're foot-to-foot almost.
Norwood, and his own blocker got in the way. Darnell Jones there, number 33, and when he tried to get around him, he just didn't have anywhere to go.
And they wanted to take that and kind of wedge it. They had tight end to tight end. They had 2 tights there. They wanted to just kind of go right up behind between the guard and tackle. Johnson jumps inside, you can see right there, and forces him back out by forcing the runner out of his running lane. Robertson then came through and made a big stick.
Touchdown. So on 2nd and goal, they get it. Darnell Jones, the fullback. Sophomore out of Greenwood, Mississippi. And with 9:52 remaining, Mississippi State narrows the lead.
Well, Kentucky's defense comes off this field, Rob. I'm sure you'll hear the defensive coaches telling them, guys, it ain't over till it's over, and there's a lot of game left here with just under 10 minutes in the 4th quarter.
Here's Brent Smith now on to attempt the conversion, and he can cut it to a 13-point lead. Has not missed an extra point all season. And how in the world did he ever get that one through? He is still perfect. And the Kentucky lead now is shaved to 13 points. We'll continue in a moment from Scott Field in Starkville. Stay with us. 9:52 remaining. Kentucky 37, Mississippi State 24. We'll be back on the University of Kentucky Television Network.
More and more, Kentucky is turning to CHA Health. Because access...
52 seconds left to go. It's been quite a football game with Kentucky leading early on 10-0. Mississippi State storming back in front to go up 14-10. Then a flurry of activity just before halftime. as Kentucky moved in front 16-14, but Mississippi State managed to get a field goal to take a 1-point lead at halftime, 17-16. And then in the third quarter, Kentucky simply cut loose. Derek Abney, a couple of punt returns. Kentucky with another touchdown in that third quarter, and the Wildcats went in front by 20. But now Mississippi State refusing to give up, and the Bulldogs are back to within a couple scores here with still almost 10 minutes on the clock. 6 plays, 60 yards, a minute 58 seconds, and it was the short touchdown pass to Darnell Jones.
Look at this.
Pop it up in the air. It's taken by one of the short men here. Carlos Boots just did not find anywhere to go after hauling in the short kick.
They're hitting that little pooch kick, and they're setting it up like it's an onside and just trying to bloop it up there. They do not want the ball in Abney's hands is what they're showing everybody here by doing that. And just a lot of respect for Abney. What a great compliment to that young man.
So Kentucky goes on offense. 1st and 10 now from its own 30. Here's Pinner cutting it back nicely into a hole. Comes up to the 40-yard line and over the 40 to the 41 before he's brought down. 11 yards on the carry by Artus Pinner. Corey Banks and Josh Morgan coming up to make the tackle for Mississippi State. And we check in on the yardage by Artus Pinner as he now totals 93 yards on the afternoon, Bill. And he's carried the ball 27 times. The 11th first down for the Cats.
Sure, they'd like to really establish something here toward the end of the game, running and throwing, get back into some type of rhythm going into next week with LSU.
They marked it at the 40 rather than the 41. And Kentucky just stays on the ground, handing it off to Pinner and running some of this clock as we hit the 9-minute mark. Ronald Fields, the defensive tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go. And rather than receptions, that is carries, but Artus Pinner is nearing the 1,000-yard mark on the season. He needed 108 coming in here this afternoon, and he is now approaching the 100-yard mark. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Down goes Lorenzen. Jason Clark, the defensive end. That time Joe Lee Dunn had him coming, and Lorenzen just didn't have any time.
No, he didn't. Watch right here. He gives a little play action, and Artus misses the block after the fake. Sometimes you get your head down trying to over-fake it. You're not able to get back up with your and sky your eyes quick enough to see the defensive pressure coming, and that time, that's what happened to Artus.
Loss is back to the 34-yard line. 3rd down, 16 yards to go. Lorenzen throwing back, incomplete. Tommy Cook broken up over there by Kevin Dockery. It was Ronald Fields who had the pressure on Jared Lorenzen, and the Wildcats will have to give up the football now, still with 7:40 left to go.
Good job by Lorenzen in stepping up in the pocket. He threw the ball across the field, I think, because he stepped up to his right, threw back to his left. Cook came up. It was almost a blind throw, and then if Cook doesn't come, that's a big interception. You have to weigh the potential for a big play for Mississippi State, but a good job there. They got away with it. They just need to hold defensively coming back this next series.
Swinging punt by Glenn Pakalak. Driving Banks all the way back to the 5-yard line. And he comes up to the 14, and another penalty marker goes down on the field. Mike Williams got down there to make the tackle for Kentucky. Now let's wait and see what this is. Bill, it has been one penalty marker after another.
You wonder almost if they're not loose in their pocket at some point, Robbins.
I'll tell you, before this game is over, Kentucky could end up being penalized more than 100 yards.
Illegal block in the back by the receiving team.
This one goes on Mississippi State.
The foul. touchdown.
You expect a lot of penalties early in the season when you're still trying to find your groove and your rhythm, but not at this point.
It's time now for the Kentucky Farm Bureau all-around coverage defensive play of the game. And we go back early on, the pickoff by Morris Lane.
See, Fant, they just tried to give a little play action. He feels that pressure, and see, he got just a little push, a little pressure pushed him, and his own man got pushed into him just enough that he wasn't able to stride the way he wanted to. Caught his front leg. Lane was there through an ugly ball. Lane was able to make a good play on the ball and get upfield. Our
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance defensive play of the game. And the pass falls incomplete as Mississippi State takes over. 1st and 10 all the way back at its own 6-yard line. And it will bring up 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Jackie Sherrill, now in his 12th year as the head coach of the Bulldogs here in Starkville. Came in with 73 wins, 60 losses, and 2 ties. And last season and this season have been tough. They went 3-8 last year, and right now working on a 3-4 campaign coming in here this afternoon. Man out of the shotgun. Long overthrown and incomplete, and now penalty marker goes down, and it was intended over at the far side for Justin Jenkins. Long overthrown.
An overthrown because of who you just saw in your picture there, Grigsby. Big pressure back there on Fant.
There is no penalty. No penalty. The pass was ruled uncatchable. Uncatchable pass.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I was wondering what the call would be. That was a good 7 or 8 feet over his head, I think.
They've gotten used to pulling those flags a little bit at this point, and it's become a habit.
Now it's 3rd down, 10 yards to go as the Bulldogs try to work out of this hole at their own 6. Sacked for a safety in the end zone. Sweet Pea Burns, the big guy out of Lake Park, Georgia, who has come in and has played so well for the Kentucky defense. And here he records his safety and gets a couple of points to his credit. Sweet Pea Burns.
Big smile. Watch from the left of your screen here. You got to push up inside. Burns is able to sit there and shake and bake and is able to make something happen there on the left side of on Mississippi State's left side on Hutchinson's able to get back in there and just wrap Fant up quick enough, Rob, I might add, that Fant can't get rid of the ball and save the safety. Good job there by Burns and being able to get upfield, use his athletic ability and get back there and make something happen.
And not only does Mississippi State give up 2 points, but the Bulldogs now will have to give up the football. A frustrated Joe Lee Dunn, Mississippi State's defensive coordinator here at the near side of the field. 39-24 as Kentucky now leads by 15 with a little more than 7 minutes left to go. This will be a free kick from the 20-yard line.
Most people like to punt these. That means they'd have to punt it to Abney. So I'm wondering who they're gonna try to punt this to.
We're going to have Jared Cook punt it. Sophomore kicker, number 43. He puts a good foot into it. Low kick, though. Comes up over the 45 to the 47-yard line. And it's time now for our Alltel long distance connection of the game. And it's the second punt return for a touchdown by Derek Abney.
Again, we touched on it earlier. Abney just very patient and being able to help set up his blockers, knowing where the return is, and a great job again of the punt return team of Kentucky being able to execute their assignments, and then Abney being able to use his speed to get to the end zone.
And of course that was the first one rather than the second, Bill, but that's our Alltel long distance connection play of the game. That was the 70-yarder. Here's Pinner over the 50. And across into Mississippi State territory, he should have enough for a first down. And that'll put him very, very close to 100 yards on the day. Put him over the 100-yard mark. Darren Williams makes the stop along with Jason Clark. We now have him at 107 unofficially, and that would, according to our stats, be just a yard short of the 1,000-yard mark.
Again, a little toss sweep. Artouche uses his vision to be able to see where the hole is. Little leg, little fakes in and out to be able to help set up his blockers, much like Abney does on the return teams of Kentucky, and able to get his head down and pick up an extra 2 or 3 yards toward the end of the run.
Wildcats record their 12th first down. And Pinner this time trips up in the backfield. A little trouble with the handoff. Josh Morgan getting in there, the dog safety, along with Tommy Kelly, the defensive tackle.
41-yard line, loss of the yard.
Pretty good penetration here by the Bulldog defense.
They did. It looked like, again, it was Morgan who's been getting some penetration. He started out in the first quarter. He got a lot. And this time he was able to come in from the right side and force Pinner to jump over him and leave his feet. And that enables the rest of the defensive team of Mississippi State to use their pursuit skills to come over and ensure the rest of the run up on Pinner.
Now, what a big day it has been for not only Derek Abney, but Bill Artouche Pinner, as he needed 108 today to reach 1,000 on the season. We have him at 107 right now. And only 5 players in Kentucky history have been able to rush for 1,000 yards in a season. Of course, Mo Williams did it most recently. Mark Higgs, George Adams, a teammate of yours.
Both of those guys.
And Sonny Collins did it twice, right? Both Mark and George teammates.
He's in some great company, I'll tell you. I think they're going to mark him back a yard on that one, so he still needs 3 to go over to break it, I guess, at this point.
You know, we've got him with 105 now. Artouche Pinner, right on the edge of a milestone season, and he gets the pitch here. And struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage as he's hauled down to the 42-yard line. I think Ronald Fields, the defensive tackle, was in there to bring him down. And officially that will go as a loss of a yard. And that would put him back to 104 according to what we have here right now. At the 42-yard line, it is 3rd down and 12 yards to go. With 5 minutes and 40 seconds here left to go in the football game, with Kentucky leading now by 15 points. Pinner tries to hurdle a defender and can't quite do it because Corey Banks came in there and make a good defensive play.
Good heads-up play, though, by Artouche for everybody. He's able to catch the ball. There's not a whole lot there. Instead of running out of bounds, he tries to hurdle it and keeps the ball in bounds and the clock moving, which made Mississippi State use another timeout.
And it's time now for our 5-star Food Mart drive of the game.
Down at 12.
And here it is. It lasted just 3 plays, 45 yards. It took only 39 seconds, and it was Tommy Cook who took that handoff from Jared Lorenzen and came around and swept into the end zone just before halftime, which at the moment gave Kentucky a 16-14 lead. That's today's 5-star Food Mart drive of the game. 5-star Food Mart, the 5-star treatment every time. Well, it's 4th down for the Kentucky Wildcats, and they have 12 yards to go, and Glenn Pakalak will punt it away, but this game slowly slipping out of reach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. As they trail now 39-24 with a little under 5.5 minutes to go. Corey Banks dropping back around his own 10-yard line. And the Bulldogs need a couple of scores, and they need them quick. The punt by Pakalak. Low kick, and Banks is going to be able to run with this. Breaks free over the 40 and all the way to the 46-yard line.
At the 60-yard line.
Good return by Corey Banks, who's come out of the junior college ranks and really played well for Jackie Sherrill.
By Riley.
And let's see what we have here now. I did not see a penalty marker drop, but
a kicking team. Penalties refused. First down.
Mississippi State refusing the penalty. Bill, I did not see the marker down on the field.
No, I didn't either. I didn't see where that must have been right at the, usually those are down toward the line of scrimmage there as far as trying to get off there, but I didn't see it at all.
47-yard line. First down.
So with a punt return by Banks, the Bulldogs will take it 1st and 10 at their own 47. And Fenn is going to have to go to work here and work quickly with 5:14 on the clock. Under pressure by Grigsby, got it away, incomplete. Intended here for Fred Reed, but it falls incomplete and the clock stops with 5:08 remaining.
Nice pressure there by Grigsby, and then also Caudle getting up there. They're starting, again, they're starting the second half. The defensive line of Kentucky has been able to get some penetration against Mississippi State, and mostly of that was started back in the third quarter by Robertson when he was able to get into the backfield and cause some disruption when he started taking on double teams again, which does free up the rest of your defensive linemen for single blocking.
That is a dismal 9 of 30 on the day, and he's picked off here. And Derek Tatum is going to bring it back for a touchdown, and that will slam the door on this game for the Kentucky Wildcats. Kevin Fant in the midst of really a miserable passing afternoon, and that was another bad throw, Bill, and Derek Tatum simply feasted on it and brought it back for a Kentucky touchdown, and it's 45-24.
Well, Tom, you just said he sets and throws. It's a rhythm throw. It's just a little stop route out there. Tatum was waiting on it. He was reading through the receiver to the quarterback. When the quarterback hit his third step, he knew that the ball was about to be delivered. By reading through the receiver, he saw the receiver also stop to come back. It was not a stop and go at that point. He stepped right in front of it. Good timing by Tatum and being able to get in there, grab the ball, and make the score the other way.
And Taylor Bigley misses the extra points. It was 53 yards on the return by Derek Tatum. There he is over at the far sidelines. Senior out of Cleveland, Ohio. We'll take another look at it. Derek, 6 feet, 190 pounds, and he will remember this moment.
Oh, no question.
He goes up and picks it off, intended for Grindle.
Those are good ones right there. All you got to do now is hold on to the ball and outrun anybody close and look at him. He doesn't look around behind him to see anything. He just looked at that goal line and ran as fast as he could. And there's Coach McGriff. Look, he's a little excited, huh? Been a while. Look at him. He's wanting to get on out there himself and get it done.
Wesley McGriff. That's what I do. And a happy Derek Tatum with a little under 5 minutes left to go. Kentucky has sealed this victory now with its biggest lead of the afternoon, 45-24. And Bill, this is going to be a big, big win in so many ways because it ensures Kentucky of at the very least, a break-even season. If they not win number 6.
Big time for Kentucky. And I tell you, you look at the last 2 years, we're 2-9. Coach Morris has done, and this staff has done an exceptional job in being able to get these young men motivated. And the big thing I see, Rob, is that when you see the performance that you're getting on the field, while they don't have the talent that some of the SEC schools do, they're taking advantage of what they've got, and they're executing game plans offensively and defensively, which tells me they respect these coaches, and the coaches, they're doing a great job of communicating what they want to get done to these young men.
Fred Reed coming here to the near side, finding room over the 35-yard line and brings it up close to the 40-yard line. Good return by Fred Reed, the senior sophomore out of Tampa, Florida. Time now for our Ashland Oil Player of the Game, and I tell you, Bill, it was easy this afternoon, isn't it? How about Derek Abney?
Mr. Excitement, I tell you what, he's done some great things today.
Well, here's the second one, which he brought back from about midfield, just busted it right up the middle. And he now has 6 kicks, returned for touchdowns in his career. And he has set so many records here this afternoon, it is just about impossible to read them all. Derek Abney, our Ashland Player of the Game. Kyle York now has come in at quarterback here. To quarterback the final 4.5 minutes here for Jackie Sherrill and the Bulldogs. Norwood has had a big day for Mississippi State. He's run for well over 100 yards, but That is going to be all that the Bulldogs are going to have to shout about when this one's over. But here's another pass picked off. Kentucky has another interception. Travis Atwell, I believe, got that one, yes. The sophomore out of Lewisport, Kentucky. Young man who transferred in from Toledo. Really had to sit out the last 2 seasons. I don't know if I can imagine sitting out 2 seasons, but good to see Travis Atwell come up with a pick here on the latter stages of this one.
And a former quarterback, he's sitting back there waiting, and I tell you, and Fance, he's been out a few games with some injuries. He's coming back in today, trying to get things going. He's had a bad ankle with an Achilles heel problem. Tough for him to get it done, and by Kentucky's defensive line being able to get upfield and get pressure, it's made it that much more difficult for him.
And busting it hard up the middle is Arliss Beach. Clock running with under 4 minutes now left to go.
And with Beach in the game, and boy, they've obviously made the change, and I think what they're going to do at this point, they're telling everybody, you know what, we're going to wait till next week against LSU. Let the home fans in Kentucky and the Commonwealth enjoy Artus Penner when he goes over 1,000 yards.
The Artus is done for the day. And I think we end up having Artus with how many yards? 104 or 105. Beach again on the carry, and Goler is there to make the stop again for Mississippi State. Shane Boyd has come in at quarterback. So Guy Morris here at the very end going with a whole new backfield just about.
Third down.
Going to send receivers now to both sides of the field on 3rd down and 8. From the 39. Pass is caught by Holt over at the far side of the field and knocked out of bounds. Should be enough for the first down. Kevin Dockery over there on the stop.
Well thrown ball by Shane Boyd there. Michael Goler out underneath the coverage, defending against it, able to put it right on the numbers to hold, and more importantly for Kentucky, able to move the chains and continue once they snap this ball for the clock to roll.
Ball's down to the 29-yard line. And we've got only 2:49 remaining, as you can see the clock on your screen, and a comfortable 21-point Kentucky lead. The Wildcats will have 6 wins, 6 W's for the first time since when? 1999. Bernard inside the 20 and down to the 19. Pulled down from behind by Mario Hagan. Let's get out on the field to Drew Diener. Drew?
Well, one thing Kentucky really has improved on this year, Rob, is their takeaways. Coming into this game, they were only 2 shy of matching their season total a year ago of takeaways. With the interceptions, fumble recoveries in this game, that's a major area that Kentucky has improved on. And with 4 games to go, they've already surpassed last year, and certainly paying big dividends right now with this big 21-point lead.
Well, right you are, Drew. Thank you. It's accounted for a bundle of points here this afternoon.
They were +5 coming in.
Anything on the plus side of the ledger is good.
They've gotten, 5 more today without giving anything up, so that'll take them at +10, given that nothing else comes up right here going into next week.
Boyd going under center. Beach got the call. Ridden down by Jason Clark. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down coming up. And we're under the 2-minute mark. And hats off to Guy Morris. As again, now for the 2nd time in the last 3 weeks, Bill, his team goes on the road and comes up with what amounts to a big, big victory. Trying to rebound from the loss at South Carolina. The Wildcats went to Fayetteville, defeated Arkansas convincingly. And after a most disappointing second half against the Georgia Bulldogs last weekend, they come down to Starkville, take on another team of dogs, and come up with a big, big win.
Well, and I tell you, as you say, hats are off to him, his staff, and these young men that have been able to sit here and look through and keep the blinders on through all of the talk last year, the probation, the this, the that, and they understand, and they, with what they're doing on the field, again, they understand, they buy into this coach and this staff and the system, and they're executing it, not perfectly, mind you, but as good as you can get when you're able to put 45 points up, of which 14 of them are special teams. I think you're doing a good job of executing all facets of your game, offense, defense, and special teams.
Each getting the call on third down as we are now under a minute. Kentucky will come away with a big victory. Darren Williams, the free safety, makes the stop. Now the young Kentucky running back. 41 seconds left to go. And a timeout is called here by Mississippi State.
Well, they're going to assure themselves of the football unless Kentucky is able to get a first down and or a touchdown. Touchdown will get the ball back too. But
Going to be fourth down coming up. Huge second half for the Wildcats after they trailed by a point, 17-16 at halftime. Guy Morris's team scoring 21 points in the third quarter. 2 of the touchdowns coming on punt returns by Derek Abney, and then sealing this game here in the fourth quarter.
2 big O-linemen there. Chris Lancaster, the offensive line coach, and Coach Morris, a former lineman himself, talking, I'm sure, about the effectiveness of the offensive line today. Mississippi State had some success on some blitzing and zone blitzing on some at points, but Kentucky was able to adjust and get the plays they needed when they needed them.
Got some of the young fellas in there on the offensive line as well, Bill, here on this series. Fourth down, 8 yards to go for the Cats. And the ball will go over on down as Arliss Beach is tackled by Tommy Kelly. Well, Mississippi State will get it back here with 35 seconds left to go. It's a tough day for the Bulldogs. They still do not have a conference win. They will go to 0-4 in the Southeastern Conference, but Guy Morris and his Wildcats pick up their second win in the SEC.
You can't say enough about it. These young men have to be happy, and as you touched on earlier, they come out of here with at least a 6-6 year, and I think they're looking for 7 and 8 to really feel successful about things and end up being a bowl spoiler, if nothing else.
Pass thrown long down the near sidelines here as Kyle York is back in at quarterback, incomplete. And I think the guy got a little Gatorade shower there just a moment ago. And it's cold here today. It's gotten colder as the afternoon has worn on, but I'm sure that felt good. As cold as it is.
Well, and I'm sure he's a very humble coach, and he appreciates that from his players, but it's not the kind of thing he really wants to do in Coach Sherrill's backyard, given that he worked with Coach Sherrill and has a lot of respect for that man over there.
Working out of the shotgun now. York under pressure, got it away, incomplete. Justin Jenkins, the intended receiver. And the thing about Mississippi State, and you talk about Jackie Sherrill and his team, Bill, they've still got some tough games left to play. They've got Tennessee still to play. They've got Alabama. I know Arkansas. They do. Is still on the schedule. And, of course, the Big Egg Bowl game right at the end of the season against the Ole Miss Rebels.
That they do. I got tickled. They showed Coach Morris getting his hand checked there. I wonder if he blew a knuckle out or something in all the excitement throughout the day. Caught a helmet.
Mississippi State will just keep it on the ground here as we have only 15 seconds left to go in the game. And the Kentucky Wildcats are going to come away with a 45-24 victory. The headgear is now starting to come off as time will run out. Kentucky travels down to Starkville, comes away with a big win. Guy Morris and the Wildcats defeat the Mississippi State Bulldogs 45-24. We'll return in a moment. You're watching the University of Kentucky Television Network.
Building Kentucky.
Well, back in Starkville, Mississippi, Rob Bromley along with Bill Ransdell here in the booth. And the Kentucky Wildcats, after trailing by a point at halftime, come on strong on a record-setting day by punt returner Derek Abney and defeat Mississippi State 45-24. Abney returning 2 punts for touchdowns. And they were both electrifying, Bill. The first one a 70-yarder. And then I think the second one went down as 51 yards. Kentucky wins it 45-24. Drew Diener's down on the field with Guy Morris.
Got Coach Morris down here. Coach, congratulations. 6th win of the year. How about Derek Abney's performance today? He just seems to amaze every time he heads out there.
He's phenomenal, isn't he? 2 punt returns got us going. Him and Dwayne Robertson almost single-handedly got it turned around and won the game for us.
You get your 6th win. You play well again, second time around. You got to be pleased with your team at this point, 6-3.
I'm happy with the record. I'm not happy the way we played overall today. I think we've got a lot of work to do yet, and I still believe that our best football is still out in front of us.
Got LSU coming up. Your thoughts on them?
Well, they're a good football team. You know, they've got an open date today. They'll be well rested and well coached, and you know, we got to get our intensity level back up. We got to play a whole football game yet.
Coach, congratulations. We're going to talk to your star, Derek Abney, right here now.
Thank you.
All right, Derek Abney, 2 punt returns in this game. You got the first one. Did you think you were going to get the second one, too, once you got it?
I don't know. It was a great feeling. Every time, not one time on my touchdown returns have I been touched, and that's something that say for our punt return and kick return teams. And when nobody touches you, like I've always said, nobody touches you, it's to the house. So,
well, congratulations, win number 6.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That's Derek Abney, Kentucky's all-time leading punt returner. Rob, back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Drew, and there's your final score, and it was quite a day for Derek Abney. Officially, they went down as 69 yards and 52 yards on the punt returns, but Bill, what a day for the Wildcats. It was a big second half.
Well, it was, and again, I think, as Coach said, we touched on it. Robertson started making the offensive line have to make some adjustments and getting other guys freed up with Burns and what have you, and then Abney stepped up and made some big plays.
We hope you've enjoyed it from here in Starkville. For Bill Ransdell and Drew Diener, our final score, 45-24. Our next telecast will be Kentucky and Vanderbilt coming up on November 16th. Check your local listings. Rob Bromley saying so long from Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi.